Yo, we living in a world where the shadows creep. Got the government watching every move, no sleep. They got their eyes on us, trying to keep us in line. But we stand tall, ready to redefine. Who you calling when the system's gone wrong? Good citizen media, we the voice in the throng. You people unite, we the force that they
Ladies and
fear.
gentlemen, great to see you. Welcome in.
Clear. What do you do when the man is corrupt? Can't call the law, they all in the cup. We rise up strong, we won't back down. Government watchdogs taking back the crown. Charges fabricated, they throwing the heat. Run us through the courts, but we can't be beat. They trying to silence us, but we got the truth. With every beat drop, we reclaiming our youth. Standing our ground, we the ones that they chase. But we push back hard, running this race. No fear in our hearts, we got the power to fight. Illuminate the darkness, we bring in the light. What do you do when the man is corrupt? Can't call the law, they all in the cup. We rise up strong, we won't back down. Government watchdogs taking back the crown. So when they come knocking, we answer with pride. Good citizen media, we won't be denied. You people together, we rewrite the script. Standing for justice, we'll never be clipped. So raise your voice, let them know we're awake. We the watchdogs, we got what it takes. The government trembles when we take a stand. Together we rise, united hand in hand. What do you do when the government's bad? You call on the truth, you call on the rad. Good citizen media, you people in the game. We the watchdogs and we ain't playing tame.
All you bad government actors, we see you, we're watching. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Accountability's coming.
What do you do when the man is corrupt? Can't call the law, they all in the cup. We rise up strong, we won't back down. Government watchdogs taking back the crown.
We're watching. So tonight, guys, we're in Rocky Ford. We got John DeNicola here with us. Good to see you, John DeNicola. Everybody in chat. We got Sam. We got Johnny Bravo. Huntington Township Watch. Everybody go check out Huntington Township Watch. Let's see. Who else we got? Did I miss anybody that commented in here yet? Hope not. Anyways, hope you guys are all having a good night. We are getting ready to start this meeting right here. They're taking a little break. People are filing in. I've seen some pizza in the back, John. There's pizza back there. So like they took my idea, right? I told them, man, get food and you'll fill the seats. Look at them seats. Yeah. You got to get the food in there, man. Cup pizzas, good to go. Maybe they need some sponsors over there or something. You know what I'm saying?
If their camera didn't keep glitching, I think we
yeah.
right?
Sorry, guys. Their camera is glitchy. But their audio is good. We should be able to hear them pretty good. I have it turned down right now just because I don't care to hear them this second. But they are getting ready to start here. They're usually pretty punctual, so and we're all having their pizza, you know. Gregory, good to see you. Oh man. All right, they're all taking their seats. Let's see what they're talking about. All right, so we're restreaming them off Facebook tonight, guys. Rocky Ford, Facebook. If you guys want to check them out there.
I call the regular meeting of the Rocky Ford City Council to order. Rebecca, will you do the roll call, please?
Montano will be absent for tonight's meeting, Mr. Mayor. Barone.
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Mosby is.
Here.
Thank you. Roberts,
Here.
Mullins,
Here.
Mayor Gurley.
Here. If you'll all rise, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thomas, will you read our mission statement, please?
Certainly. The mission statement for Rocky Ford is to improve the quality of life in the city of Rocky Ford, making it a great place to live and work while strengthening relationships and creating pride in the community.
Thank you. We'll move on to our first public comment. If we have anyone who'd like to address council on any items not on the agenda, please come up to the front.
How you doing, Council? I had a question about the water taps. I bought a lot from the city a long time ago. It has a water tap on it. My plans always was to put a sprinkler system. If I activate the tap, do I got to pay sewer and trash too?
Are you able to answer that right now, based on what we know?
Theoretically, yes. If you've got it activated, yeah. But I think there should be some exceptions.
But I got a water tap already running. I wanted to have one to water my lot.
Yeah, so it sounds like,
I believe we have some accounts set up for just sprinklers.
Do we? I'm not aware of that. We can sure find out, Marty, and let you know.
All right.
thank you. Thank you. Any others for public comment? Okay, and just informational, if anyone would like to talk about any of the items that are on our agenda, once we get to those items, kind of look to the crowd, and if anyone would like to speak on those, you'll have an opportunity on that time. Move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda is designed to make the meeting run more efficient. The items on the consent agenda are the approval of previous meeting minutes from January 28th, an application for 2 special event permits from the Rocky Ford Chamber of Commerce, and authorization for mayor to sign the Catlin Canal 2025 leases. Look to council if anyone would like to pull one of these off and put them on the regular agenda for discussion. If not, look for a motion to approve.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second. Call the vote, Rebecca.
Barone,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Mosby,
Yes, and I also had a comment.
Yeah, please.
So on the authorizations for the Catlin Canal for you to sign, so I noticed some typos, and I know these are already signed and everything, just kind of for future with the contracts, just correcting those.
can you email me, Nanette, and tell me what they are so I can get them fixed?
Yes, I sure can.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Nanette.
Roberts,
Yes.
Mullins.
Yes.
Mayor Gurley.
Yes. All right, there are no changes to the agenda, so we'll good agenda as is. No presentations. We'll move on to our city manager's report. Stacy.
I'm going to start with property 501 North Main, the El Capitan building. They went to court on the 5th. Mr. Pena has legal counsel now, and Ernest Delgado. No update on Liberty School, Brewer construction site. A new update, Tony Jones did speak to Mr. Brewer. He stated he never received a certified letter from the city, which I received back, and it was noted the 3 dates that it was attempted to deliver by the post office. He wants paperwork to release his property so he can clean it up. The release is supposed to be from the fire investigator. Chief Gonzalez stated that Mr. Brewer can start cleaning up his property, and he knows this. The 1149 railroad property, the popcorn plant, Tony also spoke with the property owner. Oakley Denning said his son is in charge of the property and has asked him to start cleaning it up. He'll start boarding up the windows, but the west side of the building that burned will still be exposed. No update on 400 South Main, 701 Sycamore. Scheduled. We're on the schedule with Property Craft for the first week in March. We sent a down payment to secure that date. We're still waiting for the contract from the state and to pull the demo permits. Property Craft did call today. They received the check. They will be putting up orange fencing around the property and some signage. But I want them to do that after Public Works goes in and removes. Somebody cut trees down and just dropped them there, and we want to take some sucker trees down and also remove the shed that's there. So just to cut down on cost of the cleanup. And then they would also like to have future discussions with the city regarding how they can help with these vacant and abandoned properties. On the sewer project, sewer improvement project, I met with CDPHE and Element Engineering is now Bowman Engineering. We met to update the implementation plan with the state. So just basically change the timeline on that for documentation. So I think they're going to extend everything 18 months, just as a timeline for the state. A new development, we've entered into litigation with Pollard Miller Law Firm regarding the roof that has been leaking since construction. So Ray asked us to kind of step up and take the lead on this. And so Chief Gonzalez, Mayor Goulet, myself, we met with this law firm. Sursa basically wanted to settle. The contractor wants to settle, but we want our roof fixed. So basically that's where that's. Cloud permit software, it is up and running. We're just keeping it internal for now because we had a discussion. We think it might be overwhelming at first until we get familiar and get police department and code enforcement familiar with the process and the reporting. We met last week to come up with an implementation plan. We're also meeting this week to further elaborate on that. Vacant building, abandoned properties, they're being populated now. And we're going to input all the code violations that they've already been doing. We're still working on the employee handbook, collaborated with the department heads on this process, and it was really great discussion. And so I wanted to present that for review tonight, but I also felt it was important to include the directors in those decisions. So we've got about a quarter to move through it. So once we get that done, we will present it. Hope to have that done in a month's time. So what else? Department updates. The Rocky Ford Fire Department is doing a CPR first aid AED training on the 22nd at the Public Safety Building. Rocky Ford Police Department, they've started a weekly activity report. I've seen 2 reports now. So that's some good information there. And their next scheduled story with cop and activity is on the 21st, next Friday. I think the library is closing for inventory, but they're still going to run that. Rocky Ford Public Works still have dealing with several water main breaks, potholes. The sand spreader has been repaired and is back in use, so that's good news. Started the fence repair over at Railroad Park, and we'll start on the water treatment plant and get Babcock done. The pipes burst in the restrooms under the grandstands. Cuco did file a Sursa claim on that. The drywall has been removed, and we're taking bids on the remodel now. Also talked about removing the drywall in the ticket office. The fair last year was presenting some mold, so we need to take care of that. And while we're working on the other side, I thought it was important to take that step to get that remediated as well. Going to meet with the fair board on Monday just to talk about if they want the ticket office designed a little bit better. I'd like to see some storage for tables and chairs, so when we have events, we're not having to transport back and forth, and an easy access for events. Rocky Ford Parks and Recreation is going to partner with the library. We're going to start a Lego club, so we're currently putting happening on a Lego Drive. Mayor Gurley had a great suggestion to put a wish list out on Amazon. People might consider donating. The citizens concerned that we had at the last council meeting, speeding on 2nd Street. Police department took the lead on that and got with the county, and have started a speed study. So
They just picked them up.
okay.
Yeah, so it's completed. We should hear soon.
Okay, and as a reminder, City Hall will be closed on Monday for residents.
Several questions, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Did Brewer state when, now that he has all the stuff to start to clean up, did he say when he's gonna start to clean up?
No.
Can we give him a day? Okay, well, I mean, he said he didn't receive the letter. He was saying certified letters that aren't picked up, they're, when it's returned, it's counted as being received, right? So he's got plenty of notice, so I don't. Another question on, the sewer improvement, the discussion we had last week from Bowman. I know you called me, I think Thursday or Friday night. Any feedback from the corporation?
Kuko or Rick, one of them called the company to discuss the issue with their workers in the street. And
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
What
We didn't have a vest on and.
Well, no vans, they're stopping, I mean, they're not watching for cars.
I did what I
They were
could
Highway
do.
71 out there, traffic
Yeah.
stopping and going around them.
I talked to him about it.
And he was a little arrogant when I questioned him on it, you know, where's your fence, where's your safety, there's no signs, nothing, and traffic's, I mean, you're on the city streets piled up, and they're on the highway doing it. And I've had city employees tell me they've already been warned.
Without a vest on too, so it felt a little weird.
But I was told by city employees, they've already been warned by the city, by the other employees to do it, and they just
These were two
disregard it.
different guys though than originally came out, so. They've had different crews coming out, but yeah, I did address that.
Yeah, because they're, I mean, they need to follow all regulations and laws. The other fire department, sir, I was gonna ask, thank you for your CPR, first aid training, everything open to the public, is there a fee?
No, only if you want a card.
Only if you want a card, so the public that's listening, all of that is free unless you want to get the card, and that'd be good for 2 years if you do get the card, correct?
Yeah. You only charge for the charge.
But if they do get a card, what's the fee? $25 fee, well, there you go, save a life, could be your own, you never know.
Donations.
Sorry?
And they'll accept donations.
And they'll accept donations, yeah, I mean, they do a lot for the community, thank you, go put it out there, but yeah, thank you. And $25 for that, that's cheap, to get the card.
No, and every other time I see a CPR class advertised, it's way more expensive than that, so
And the other last
they
one
do
was,
us good here.
on Second Street, they're starting to study, but can we do some temporary speed bumps like they did last year? I know we got a lot of complaints from citizens, but they seem to work.
I think some of those complaints came from our EMS too.
Yeah, our fire department was not happy about those, no.
yeah, the fire department needs to be considered when we do that.
Motorcyclists don't like them either.
Make them permanent.
But the speed study, would we install stop signs, or like, how would we address
I
that,
think,
or-
again, that's something we probably need to get with Ray.
The start now is just kind of get a sense of traffic count and some of the average speeds that it's able to record.
So the temper is pretty much out because of the emergency response.
I'm sorry?
So the temporary speed bumps are pretty much out because the emergency
Yeah,
responders.
yeah, Chief Gonzalez was not in favor of the speed bumps at all.
And I guess that's it for me. Thank you for everything.
Anyone have questions on city manager's report?
Thank you for being so thorough and always keeping us up to date on all the different projects going on.
All right, thank you, Stacy. We'll move on to our Public Works end of year report. Rick?
So everybody got the very lengthy PowerPoint? You can't read that one. You should have got it emailed to you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had it. So I tried to condense it down as much as I could. I don't know. I mean, I got it down to 9 pages, so I guess I'll hit on some key points. I want to start it out with congratulate Cody Baylor for being voted Rookie Wastewater Operator of the Year by the Colorado Rural Water Association. We all got together and votes were made, and he'll be awarded next month at at the CRWA's banquet that we're going to. Little training and then the banquet, but that's a pretty big deal for us. We haven't had that since I've been here. So Rocky Ford Public Works Department, we provide essential services to the community. We're on call 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Currently, we have 13 public servants, and we're responsible for the maintenance of city infrastructure. We provide a wide variety of services to residents and others. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of you know all that we encompass. Maybe some of you don't. Look at the PowerPoint that you did get electronically. And if you have questions with me, call me, email me, be more than happy to answer any kind. Like I said, I mean, this would take 30 minutes to go through all this, but I'll hit on some of them. Start on the water department. Daily, we do inspections. We do rounds 7 days a week. 7 days a week, we're cleaning bar screens. We're looking in, effluent. We're looking at bars or lift stations. We're doing every structure that we have within the city. We've got 1,860 residential and business taps that are available. As of this report, we have 1,673 active water taps in the city. Meters range from 3/4 inches to 6 inch. That's my wife. Sorry. 2024, we produced and treated over 310 million gallons of water from our 3 wells. We don't use that water to do Babcock Park and the golf course. That's all from Catlin Canal, from the reservoirs, everybody knows, behind the water plant. We can hold 2.5 million gallons in both of the tanks. So key accomplishments, we produce 307 million gallons with rounds every day. State testing included lead and copper, gross alpha, uranium, nitrate, disinfectant byproducts, the VOCs, the SOCs, and organic compounds. We applied for it and received a grant for free PFAS testing, which is pretty costly. In fact, I just got something on that today, and I can't believe how much, but we got a grant for that, and we're actually pretty low on our PFAS right now, and we almost hope we were a little bit higher because there's a lot of grant money out there to help us at our wells. And right now, we don't qualify for it. We do flow readings twice a month for our water accounting audit. We do dead end flushing every Friday. Many repairs on Zone 2 pump station. Created and submitted our consumer confidence report, which came back good. I don't know if anybody here ever looks at them every year, but we've got a great one. Tore down the old entry point water structure up there at Play Park Hill and put that new building up. That's where we pull our rounds every day, out of that building. We're finalizing all the work on the distribution prioritization plan, and I'll have that for council here pretty quick. In fact, he came in, did we put him on an agenda yet, or you guys didn't get a date? So in 24, we spearheaded the smart water meter project, and it's really been a godsend to us here. I can get in the morning and see where we're wasting water, and people are paying a lot of money for it, and give them a call. And we've really helped a lot of people with this smart water meter project. We've been planning, and we're going to replace our entire SCADA system. Well, we earmarked $100K this year and $100K next year. It'll be about a $200,000 project. Fire hydrant initiative, we replaced 8 fire hydrants, cleaned, inspected, and painted many, many more in the system. Water department City Hall issued 1,760 work orders that we took care of. We performed 386 emergency utility locates. Over 2024, we had 92 after-hour dispatch emergency calls relating to water. We had 9 emergency response main break repairs, which we're almost there already this year. So this one's going to add up. We had 84 wet stabs. Those are meter pit repairs. 46 verified tampering incidents. We were talking about that earlier. We caught 46 people that they straight piped it. That one guy right there, and if you tamper with it, we try to get you. And these new meters let us know right away. Yeah, the new meters are letting us know. So I bet that triples this year now that we have this technology. We maintain full compliance with all our permits and regulations throughout the year, which is a big accomplishment. If you talk to Walsenburg and a lot of the other utilities, we completed in-house state mandated tank inspections, a lot of infrastructure upgrades, repairs. We completed our backflow prevention program and had 0 violations. That's state mandated. Initiated our LCCR, that's our lead and copper revision rule. And we're processing all that information now as it comes in. We have a master list. We've offered to help residents in the city that don't know how to see if they have lead or what their pipes are. We issued 0 boil notices, which is a really big accomplishment. Our utility meets and exceeds all EPA and CDPHE expectations for a water utility in the state of Colorado. And I'm just going to skip. Like I said, if you guys read that PowerPoint and you have questions on some of this, let me know. I don't want you getting out of here at midnight. Sewer department, we provide proactive and reactive maintenance on 110,000 feet of collection. Sewer lines, 323 manholes, 2 lift stations, our sewer lagoons. And if anybody ever wants to set up a tour of the sewer lagoons, let me know. We'll take you out there and show you our beautiful sewer lagoons. Eric, we have a hyperchlorination vault. We got a boat. You want to go out fishing? There's fish out there. Bisulfite treatment room and pumps, motors, and a whole bunch of control areas. Some key accomplishments there is we treated 144 million gallons of effluent water. So go back to
Appreciate y'all being in here. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys.
We produced 307. So leaks, theft, and unmetered usage, almost half is what we're leaking. And that's what we've always thought with all the algorithms that we can run. We have a 50% perceived loss. And with Applegate, which is our water auditors, they pretty much confirmed it for us. We completed CDPHE wastewater compliance inspection, which resulted in no violations and no findings. Again, that's another big milestone for us. We had 0 permit violations in 24. The $8 million USDA grant and 40-year interest loan to replace our system, that was a big accomplishment in my eyes in 2024. We applied for a grant and received a sewer lagoon data logging system, which will help us with data accuracy and management once we get time to get that installed. We fixed our damaged aeration system. All of the lines, when they built the sewer lagoons, they just put the wires right in the dirt. So we got all that dug up, all the wires were replaced, and now they're in piping now. Both pumps at the fairground lift stations were replaced. Countryside lift station had a lot of work done. We perform daily, monthly, and state mandated testing on our influent discharge. We have been working on improving our SCADA controls, and that'll be part of that 100,000, which SCADA goes water and sewer. We do rounds every day. Daily, we inspect all of the systems there. Monthly, we complete our DMR. Monthly, we collect samples for state testing and ship them out. Yearly, we do the CDPHE compliance inspection of domestic water treatment facilities, which we've got another one coming up here pretty quick. We performed 27 sewer line cleanings. We responded to 42 after-hour dispatch calls for the sewer utility. We completed 53 City Hall generated work orders for them. Refuse department, we run routes daily and average 1,650 residential and commercial accounts weekly. We received many trash-related work orders from customers, and we do our best, and I think we give them great service. A big deal is educating customers on what's acceptable to place in their totes and what's not, and that's a daily occurrence, at least with my office. I gave you guys some pictures in that. Key accomplishments, we hauled 5,813,600 pounds to the dumps. We had 992 City Hall generated work orders. We did 4 trash audits throughout the year, which we follow the trash truck around. We look at billing and we yank totes out. So we get a lot of people that end up with totes and they're paying for one and they've got 9. It's crazy sometimes. We repaired or replaced 298 trash totes. We performed 12 special request pickups. We still do assist the elderly and disabled with putting their totes in and out. All they have to do is call. And we supply special trash service yearly to the fair and special events. Streets division, we did 156 tons of hot asphalt in-house. That means we go down and pick it up, 2 tons at a time. About 2 tons is about all we can get. A lot of asphalt was laid at the fairgrounds in preparation for the fair. We bought 318 bags of coal patch in 2024 and repaired 501 potholes. And we probably have 5,000 more waiting on us. We picked up over 2,000 leaf bags. We have a leaf bag program here. And I would say 3/4 of the bags we pick up are good ones, but we pick the other ones up too. They'll be.
Except for the video. I don't know why their video does that. It does it on their Zoom and their Facebook. It's been that way for a couple meetings.
Had 253
But it's ran well.
generated work orders for the streets. We graded and filled holes at Babcock Park several times. Curb and gutters were cleaned all year. We rebuilt 3 bridges, painted 4, and performed much work on our intergovernmental agreement with Otero County. We assisted with a comprehensive sign audit, and we assisted with a trip and fall audit through the city, which that should be coming. You talked to them, didn't you? That should be coming here soon. Building maintenance division, staffed by 1 employee, responsible for the upkeep of 22 buildings, some over 100 years old. We do anything, light electrical, plumbing, carpentry. We ensure buildings remain operational and safe for the public. In addition to routine repairs, we try to conduct quarterly inspections of all buildings, identify and address potential issues proactively. Parks Department, good old Ralphie, we lost Ben. We're going to fill Ben's position with a seasonal. We're not going to put a full-time back yet. And we got to try to get Ralph to open up and train somebody, which is going to be hard. But duties include mowing, weed eating. You guys know what parks do. Weekly, we maintain the railroad parks, Govins grounds, City Hall grounds, railroad park, fairgrounds. I said railroad park. Fairgrounds, Hurryback Park, Police Park, East Side Monument, Silver Lions Park, Countryside Playground, Main Street Medians, Beach Triangle, and the city-owned lot over on North 8, parking lot at Grand Theater and Harris Pharmacy. He replaced valves at Railroad Park. He did a lot of valves at Play Park Hill, replaced lines at Water Plant, and removed equipment and installed irrigation system at Countryside Park. You know where that one's at? That's over by your house, in the back. Weed abatement, it speaks for itself when we get into
Hey,
growing
John.
season, it's everybody in public.
Where's Dwayne's
Try to
plant?
get every citizen here, and we couldn't keep up with weeds. It gets pretty bad, but the entire
Yeah.
department.
First meeting, no show.
Emergency response.
Oh man, that was just brought to my
We have
attention.
one
I wasn't
on-call
even
list for public
I wasn't
works
even paying
and one
attention
for
to the
water
video
sewer
part of it,
related
looking
issues.
at it, because
Employees are
it's kind of
signed
annoying the way
and are
it's flickering like
required to
that. But
respond typically within
yeah,
20 minutes.
see,
I
because
am
the other
pretty
lady,
quick, but
she's on the
quick.
Zoom.
Public works call
Where's
down
the new
to
guy?
snow, ice removal, traffic
Yeah.
repairs, dead animals.
He was that
any
worried
hazardous
about it.
road conditions, water sewer,
Missed his first
water
meeting.
main breaks, low water pressure, sewer backup,
Wow.
meter turn on and off, which we have a bunch, and pump or well malfunctions. And then both teams help with doing emergency locates and unexpected flooding. Zoning permits, we issued a total of 46 zoning permits, anything from fencing to solar. And we only generated $3,450 use tax. Yeah, that's not a whole lot. But I mean, there's people are starting to do better on it. Intergovernmental agreements, we have an agreement way back before me even, with Otero County. And we help them anything outside of city limits. We do Cottonwood Lane, Buttercup, Spruce, Beach, Chestnut, County Road 19.5, County Road 19.75, North Main Street and Washington Avenue. Anything else, so we don't double up on snow removal or culvert repair, or drainage, or anything like that. That's pretty much it. You guys can read my closing, on your electronic thing. And please, if you have any questions on anything that we've got going on in Public Works, let me know. I'd love to sit down, and if we got better ideas on how to do something, let me know. I think we're all in this together. And I would love some collaboration if we could.
Any questions here?
I agree with your comment about hoping to do worse because of the grants. What are some of for the PFAS chemicals, those are forever chemicals, what's showing up in Rocky Ford?
We're low. That's what I'm saying. I was almost hoping we would be higher. We got it last year. We got the grant, and I just got a grant for this year. And we're real low PFAS wise.
Yeah, you hear that? You get grants if their water's
Well,
dirty.
That's what, I mean, even if we were a little elevated, we could get on that.
Doesn't mean they're gonna clean it though.
And there's a lot of people around us that are. Well, I mean, it's where our water comes from. You know, we're deep wells. That's coming through a lot of rocks and they're alluvial wells. So, I mean, if you look at CCRs and compare them around everywhere else, you know, everybody around us would love to get on Rocky Ford water. And that should be a conversation at one point in time where people want to. Remember trash, where we used to go on Wednesday's routes, we cut out $75,000 off of trash by cutting that Wednesday rural route off. And I never figured out why. And then we had a push to where we tried to get rural back in and we didn't get a whole lot on it. Yeah. Well, but he didn't do it. We did it. I mean, Wednesday's route, we lost a lot of money by getting out of that. But I know we've got people that want to get on sewer and get on water, and I think we could certainly accommodate them. And, you know, I think at a later date, we should talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Rick, thank you very much. And yeah, you guys, thanks for getting these end of year reports. I think it's really good. You know, there's a lot going on that is missed. So to be able to kind of see it quantified this way really puts it into perspective, everything that's going on. And I think it's really good for just, you know, us and then the community to be able to reference these and kind of get that look into what everybody's doing every day throughout the year. So we will move on to our council reports and we'll start with Councilman Martinez.
Okay, I don't have much. I attended my first meeting with the library board. We're gearing up for the summer reading program. This year's theme is Color Our World. So I'm not exactly sure what that looks like. We'll continue talking about that and have it ready for the kids. I know I'm impressed with the numbers. I don't have that. But I wasn't aware of how much we use our library. I was kind of under the assumption it wasn't as much as the numbers were. The program we got with the after school kids is amazing. I've been there a few days. What do you guys got, like 30 kids in that program? It's nice to see it be used.
40.
Yeah, that one, you know, you guys are with the rec is just getting ready to do the Lego club thing. That's going to be great. I bet you I know half a dozen kids who drive to Woodruff for that. I mean, from Ballard, from Manzi areas that go all the way. So if they can come here for it, I think we'll have the kids doing it. They're looking at possibly adding a member to the board to kind of prepare for somebody outgoing at some point in time in the next year or so. So if anybody's interested, applications can be picked up at the library. And then, like you said earlier, February 21st, we're going to be doing inventory. So we're probably looking at it being closed except for that time when the cops are there to read to the kids. So I'll be down there learning how all that works to help with inventory. So I got to learn to read between now and then. That's all I got for right now.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start with the Grand, Friends of the Grand Theater. The last 2 weeks they had showing of Dog Man, and I'm sorry I don't have numbers, I'm not sure. It did rather well, didn't it, both weekends? But this coming week's gonna be Captain America, so maybe I get my grandson to go out in that one. But yeah, that's gonna be coming up. The next meeting for the Grand, the committee will be next Tuesday at 6 p.m. And if I remember how we discussed, I think we have 10 active members and there is opening. They do have room for 12. So if anybody's interested, correct, they can attend the meeting or possibly get involved. They're open to the public. Two meetings are open to the public. Yeah, open to the public, yeah. Anybody wants to come. Yeah. But I think they said the committee, they have room for 2 more if they have the interest on it. So if I remember correctly.
Paddington will follow. Paddington and Peru will follow Captain America.
I'm sorry?
Paddington in Peru
Paddington in Peru will be the weekend after next. So, all right, thank you. Okay, and then on my, my rounds, when I go for walks, I try to stop in and visit, different places. This last week I visited Pier 404. They're back open. For those that don't know, that's on Highway 50 across the street from Loaf and Jug. I'm sorry, I don't have the card in front of me for their address. They did ask, I asked how everything's going. It looks pretty nice. They offer people showers, laundromat, computer services, charging stuff, ports for your, they said they could use some blankets. If anybody out there has blankets or stuff like that, they can use some blanket donations for clothing, specifically winter, but any kind of clothing. If you have any, they're more than willing to accept them, and they're open Monday through Friday. If I remember correct, it was 10 to 2. Please help them out. It's for the homeless, you know, I mean, they're human too. So please help out. Dog clinic held this last week, Thursday through Sunday. There was Bergen Spay Neuter Clinic out of Denver. They came down. I'd like to thank all of them. Some of them are pretty much 6, 7, 8 people that come down. They are on the payroll. They do get paid, but everybody else that's there that's assisting is volunteers. They're all for free. A lot of awesome stuff going on there. The way I see it is everybody's being proactive with these animals. Let's not wait till they're all over and then we have a mess with strays and stuff. Let's keep that up. They're going to come back in July. Bergen Spay Neuter come back in July. This last weekend they did 200 cats, 43 dogs. It's all low cost, 25 for cats, 50 for the dogs. Please, if you can, if you have any, go down. If you don't have animals, come down and look, volunteer, help out. This last week, Swing also did one. I think it was Saturday and Sunday. That was with the San Luis Valley Spay Neuter Clinic or Alliance or something like that out of Alamosa. So there's also going there. We just need to get La Junta involved, Mr. Mayor. See if we can try to get them to have a clinic. And that's all they want is a venue.
Yeah, come on, Mr. Ayala.
Rocky Ford has stepped up for the last 5 years that I've been involved with this, given the fairgrounds, the building down there, and that's all they ask is a venue to do it. They're paying, I think it's 20,000, 30,000, depends on how many animals. That's what it costs to make that thing happen. So please help out any way you can. Everybody in the community that chooses to help in whatever way it is, help the neighbor, help the community in any way you can. I want to thank you for doing what you do because it takes that to make a community. Please continue helping. If you aren't, consider it. I mean, just something, a simple gesture, you know, helping somebody, a woman across the street, if that's what it is. With the dog clinic, I was going to throw out, when they're there, they're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We start at 7. We have various, I call them gut wagons, in town. Maybe you guys want to consider, you people that want to maybe try to make $1 or $2. They can sell coffee, morning burritos or something, but we're there from 7 in the morning to sometimes 8 o'clock at night when the people come back to pick them up. So if anybody out there that has a, what's the proper term for those guys? I'm sorry.
A food truck?
A food truck, there you go. I'm sorry, I'm old school. And anybody that has those out there, they might want to get, I don't know if it'll go anywhere, if you can make money, but consider it. There's a lot of people that are going there. Try to jump some money up for there. And then my last thing is, once again, it's all about being human, caring for each other. After Christmas blues, just watch, you know, the bills, everything coming in. Let's watch out for the each other. You see somebody that's despondent, not talking, withdrawn or whatever. Maybe they're depressed. You know, it's that time of year also. Please offer an ear, listen to them, give them a shoulder to lean on or something. A lot of times that's all it takes. But there's you can call 1-800 or 1-844-493-8255. That is a free, confidential, 24/7 Colorado crisis service. So anything there, you can also text 238-255. If you want to learn more, go to coloradocrisisservices.org. But please watch out for each other, help each other, and be kind. Thank you. That's all for me.
Yeah, we'll pass it to Nanette if you have anything to share.
No, I don't have anything to share.
All right, thank you. Nicole?
It's kind of gearing up for busy season at the chamber, getting ready to send out memberships. We've had a few things going on this week. We had a cancer support group fundraiser on Saturday. Tomorrow night there is a screening with a dinner and drinks before. It was an invitation only thing for Mirasol. Starts at 5:30 at the Gobin building, and then they advertised that we could walk to the Grand. If you'd like to walk to the Grand tomorrow in 15-degree weather, feel free, but I'll be driving. So that goes from 5:30 to 6 at the Gobin, and then from 6:30 to 7:30-ish at it's 36-minute film. 36-minute film, and then there'll be a question and answer session after with Mike DiBartolo and what's his name? Eric? Is it Eric? The head of the Lower Arkansas Valley Region Waters Conservancy District. So that's tomorrow night, and then Saturday is the Arkansas Valley Resource Center's comedy night. I'm not sure if there are tickets still available. You could call them and find out. Their number's 384-7764, and see about tickets for that. And then I think that's really all we've got going on. Our next meeting is on Thursday the 20th, and then we will have all of our usual things going on as spring comes about. Grown-ups Who Love Us, Easter brunch. We'll work with the police department on that, and I'm already starting to think about Freedom Fest for the 4th of July. So just all kinds of stuff going on, membership time, and that's what we're working on, and just move forward.
Thank you. Thanks. Great. So everybody up here's got something we work on. We're all members of different boards. I'm a member of the museum board. Last year we got around 1,000 visitors at the museum here in Rocky Ford. I'm sure a lot of you haven't been out there, but I highly recommend you do go out there. I see we have some of our firefighters here. We do have a little bit more firefighter history in the museum there that hasn't been transferred over to the fire station, although we may work with Ray to see some of that go over there. So please come by and give us a visit. We're constantly trying to improve that. We started sort of a research phase this year on making the museum accessible over the internet. The idea is to bring some of this history that might be interesting to people outside of our community, and to kind of prevent it from being erased forever, because sooner or later everything will deteriorate, and some of it's deteriorating right now. So we want to kind of capture it where it is, and then my goal is to get at least the most historically significant artifacts onto that searchable database this year. So that's where we're kind of going with it. There's a lot of building improvements that need to be done, repairs really at this point. We did a lot of window repairs last year. We've got some drainage issues that I'm hoping to get fixed in the spring. And then we'll have to look at some more serious structural things, but for the time being, we're just trying to prevent it from getting worse. But I highly recommend you come out and say hi. Rob's our curator out there. He knows everything about every artifact in there and just about every person who's ever lived in this town, and also most of the other towns around here. So ask him about your family, ask him about Swing, ask him about the farming history here. He'll have answers for you. And if you don't have questions, he'll show you something interesting for sure. That's all I've got.
Hey, what are the hours out there?
Yeah, so right now we're on winter hours, which is a limited schedule. We're there Wednesdays and Fridays, which I believe is 1 to 6 o'clock. 1 to 6 or 1 to 5. It might be 1 to 5. But if you want to get the tour, and he will give you a full tour, it's like expect half hour. So I'd say get there around 3.
Good.
All right, thank you. All right, so a couple of boards I'm on haven't met. OPI Oakley, that's the Otero Partners Inc., and Otero County Landfill will meet next Tuesday. Those are usually the third Monday, but with this upcoming Monday is President's Day, we're gonna do that Tuesday morning instead. Planning Commission hasn't met, Pension Board, no meeting. I'm sure everyone's heard about the closing of the obstetrics services at ABRMC coming up. So Mayor Ayala over in Lahana did reach out to the area mayors and asked if we would kind of sign on to us, asking for some help in keeping that service in our valley. So I did write a letter to Governor Polis, sent that to our state rep and our state senator, just, kind of expressing our concern. And I think that is available on the website and Facebook if you want to look at that letter. We did receive some response and they are engaging. So we're going to be planning some time to get together with the area leaders and the hospital and state office and kind of look at some long-term solutions for that. So they did respond and they are engaging there, and we'll be sure to share any updates as we get them. Went to the Southeast Regional Transportation Coalition. One of the big things coming up is the CDOT project on Highway 71. There's going to be a lane widening project going on there, so they'll be widening those lanes, making some passing lanes there. That is going to start February 24th, and it'll be going through July. So it's a 2-mile stretch over there. They will be doing 1 lane alternating traffic over there, so just kind of plan accordingly if you're heading north on 71 there. There's really no other projects set for Rocky Ford. Some of the other ones are going to be some lane widenings farther east, kind of closer to Lamar, between Lamar and Los Animas, and between Lamar and Kansas border. And then now they're starting to plan for, I think, 2028 and 29. So kind of working on that 3-year plan now. So we'll be putting in input there. Big things, I said on there was just lane widening and repaving, kind of coming into Rocky Ford. So all directions coming into Rocky Ford, all of our highways. So they did 266. I think that was last year. Was it 23, 24? Yeah, so in 23, they kind of came in. It was somewhat of a surprise, knocked that out. So looking at some of the other highways coming through, 202 and some of the others. But we'll be continuing to ask for priority on those. And then we did meet with Paul Miller, and that's a law firm that is representing CIRSA on their claim for our construction defect on the public safety building. So the roof that's leaking over there at the fire department. So we're going to be engaging that firm to also represent us in that case. So CIRSA is a plaintiff. We're also a plaintiff, and our claim is going to be going farther than CIRSA's. So that's why we're kind of engaging them separately than CIRSA. But we'll be sure to share any updates as those come. Just wanted to note that there is, we are getting another freeze coming in. It's already here. There is going to be a warming shelter activated.
Hey, I'm wondering, Dwayne informed them what happens if they lose.
So that's open from earlier today until Thursday at noon. So anyone in Rocky Ford who needs emergency warming there's a number on Facebook and on the website, and it's been shared in a lot of different places, different partners, but you can call that number, and Otero County is working in providing transportation, and they're just trying to make sure that everyone across Otero is able to get to the warming centers wherever they are across the county. So if anybody needs that, give that number a call, and they'll be able to arrange either transportation or just give you the details on getting over there. recently we met with Councilman Martinez and I met with the local business owner over some concerns with towing and working with PD. So we'll be working with Stacy and just trying to kind of get a good understanding of that situation, get that all cleared up. And finally, Seco Rome, which is the Southeast Colorado Recreational Outdoor Alliance Movement, which the City of Rocky Ford's Rec Department is a part of, is a leader on. Seco Rome is going to be hosting a food producers appreciation event on February 20th and the 21st. So on Friday, the 21st, it's going to be over at the fairgrounds from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it's just really trying to bring together all of our food producers and share information about that project and what we're looking to do throughout the summer and moving forward, and just starting to build partners to go with that as we're doing everything outdoor related. That's all I have. Any questions there? Good. All right, we'll move on to old business. We have the 2025 city streets and sidewalks repair schedule. So we started that one at our last meeting. I know one of the things that came up of that is just kind of looking at where we are going to be this year, knowing that we have approved several sidewalk projects already that are not completed. They're going to be budgeted out of this year's budget. So it looks like we're going to have about 100,000 to work with on street sidewalks this year. So doesn't give us a whole lot of options for streets. So we have options on sidewalks. If you'll remember the end of last year, we did purchase the dump truck and the loader, which will be used for a lot of our streets projects. So I think looking at what are our options this year, and yeah, with 100,000, just kind of knowing where we're at with some of the costs, square footage on the streets doesn't really give us many options. I know one of them that kind of looking at my list that we all brought last time, just one of the ones I had on there was 10th Street from Swink to Elm, which is really kind of Loaf and Jug, Ark Valley Monument. But that's a smaller area. But yeah, kind of look for any recommendations that you all have.
Looking at I was looking at what's that 18th over there that isn't paved, that's that short. Is that even feasible with $100,000? I don't even think.
See, and that's what we looked at.
How much did we do with? We did quite a bit with 200,000.
Well,
we are going to be looking at a lot different rate per square foot.
Because Justin's gone.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to be paying quite a bit more.
Another location that I recall when I was checking, I think it's 14th Street between Railroad and Highway 50 East. That was pretty rough. Still big, but pretty rough at that time. I remember, it might not be 14th.
Well, and we spoke yesterday. With this small of a budget for streets, I think our better option would be looking at getting a street sweeper here. Whether it's putting
Is that allowed within that infrastructure?
Yes,
It is. So any of that equipment that's used, and I think that's what I was talking about, the loader and the dump truck. So, that is another option as far as, buying equipment that is used to maintain our streets and sidewalks.
We can sit here and argue about which streets, but then we also have to go, hey, we still have infrastructure that needs to be done. Because I like your idea, that piece over there in front of Loaf and Jug, but how many times have we had to open that up in the past 2 years? They've fixed that leak in front of Loaf and Jug, what, 3-4 times, football? At least twice last summer, I know it was open.
No, we opened it once, realized that it was bad, and we had to open it again, and it takes a whole while.
So it's already placed, so it couldn't be fixed.
Yeah.
Well, but I think that we need to look at a street sweeper.
And is there only water in that? Is Loaf and Jug sewer in the alley?
No, there's the alley, yeah.
So the water line in that street is the only thing?
And that's one of our biggest water lines that we have.
So, because of course, that is one of the absolute biggest concerns. We cannot be paving streets when we've got infrastructure to repair. And I understand the whole, it's easier to repair new asphalt than it is old, but I don't want to cut holes in the new stuff. It's so pretty when you first put it down.
Well, I think we have an opportunity to use the money for something that we've been looking at for years. I
And
mean,
how
Jeanette,
much
at
can
least-
that benefit all of town? I
Well,
mean,
it'll make us all look a lot better, you know.
Robert?
Street sweeper, I mean, I brought that up in the past, but that's excellent
we've
to me
all,
because it is not just downtown, it's the entire community. 'Cause I remember when I first moved here in '98, they'd come by the house once, they just show up, and now it's nothing. It would also open up, how many employees do you have during the day going out sweeping streets and cleaning up? I mean, that would open up that labor force there. That would get rid of that.
if we were doing it regularly, you wouldn't have to get out there with a shovel
Yep.
either.
Well, it'd make it easier on the guy who's doing it. He'd be able to use a truck to do it.
That might be a segue into my only concern, because I'm 100% on board with the street sweeper, but if we're actually gonna be using this for more than like ad hoc stuff, we're now talking about really another employee.
Well, I think we'd have an employee. I mean, we have a guy who goes out and does.
Yeah, we have
street cleanup,
streets
right?
guys that literally are out there cleaning with
I
shovels
mean,
every
they
day.
come by my house 2 or 3 times a summer with a shovel and a leaf blower.
Yeah, when this was just kind of in the past, because we have had street sweeper for almost always, and then we haven't had one for, I guess, 5 or 6 years now. So we had this discussion in '22, and yeah, their plan, they would assign someone who would be doing the street sweeper almost, Monday through Friday, and being able to kind of do a pass through the entire town, weekly. So yeah, that would be in there, and it wasn't a discussion so much of adding on, but they would be able to move someone over there. And like I said, we did see in the report, and I don't remember the number, but he did have a number in there, how many hours that have been allocated to manually sweeping the gutters and the streets out there.
That's just downtown, not residential.
Yeah.
That's just downtown.
You're saying
I
it
think
comes
it'd be a
out
lot
to be
safer to
a
have
wash,
that truck.
basically.
Exactly.
If not better. Yeah.
The only thing is, I'm
Nice.
sure 100 grand's not gonna buy a used one.
Well, we did find some that
yeah.
that were in our budget.
Yeah, there's some around there for about that much is what I've heard.
Yeah, we found a couple.
And then one of the things, really good factor that came up last time was, just that maintenance and how, it provides that longevity for the streets, as far as keeping the gutters clean, and that's reducing some of the flooding that occurs in different areas, which then leads to some of the street deterioration there.
I blew $1,500 in tires in 1 year in this town from nails. So that alone would be nice for people.
All right, so it sounds like there's, kind of some general consensus of everyone interested in that option. Would it be good to ask Public Works to look at some options?
Yeah, let's hear what Rick and them guys have
to bring to us.
what
Okay.
they'd like to see.
All right.
Because they know what they're working with, more than we do.
Kuko, I see you taking notes. You got that? And then,
Just don't ask for a vote the same night you present it. No.
and then we kind of have, we went through this before, and I know looking at some of the different models, we landed on the Dulevos. I think it was an Italian model. Just the different street sweepers, the way that our roads were, I guess we weren't good for the vacuums, because you can't get a good seal. You need more of a flatter road. So yeah, even with that, Kuko, if you just want to kind of just focus in on that Dulevo model that I think Hardline is a distributor for here in Colorado.
You had that conversation before me, so it doesn't have a vacuum.
He had
but
it before most of us.
What does it do? Push
Sweeps
it
it
into
into
a
a-
bin or
yeah,
something?
Brushes, yeah.
Okay.
It's
Sweeper instead of a vacuum.
it's brush and vacuum, where some of them are just vacuum. They might work really good, but we don't have the type of streets for them.
Too round.
Although very textured too.
So
That's a real-
everyone good there? We'll look to Public Works to provide some recommendations there.
Yep.
All right. That's it on that one. So we'll move on to item number 13.2, which is the proposed ordinance number 983, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 968 regarding the registration of vacant buildings and properties within the city of Rocky Ford. This ordinance is sponsored by Councilman Martinez, so pass it over to you. Kick us off.
Well, I mean, we've spoken about this for what, 3 meetings now. I don't know what else to say. I don't see any other proposed amendments or resolutions to change it or reword it or anything with it. So I say we just do it. We just repeal it and go from there. We had 2 weeks to reword it, make it work, or at least look at rewording it, making it work, and nobody's got anything here. So
I only asked for one change. I thought Nathan was working on. Nathan was doing something. I mean, I just want that one word changed. Other than that, I don't think it needs to go away. So I mean, I think we're at the point of the vote.
Yeah, and that would have been if there were changes to that one, that would be separate.
Well, and
separate
that would be
ordinance coming.
separate from this anyway, so.
Any other discussion on this? Or okay, we'd look for a motion to approve ordinance number 983 on first reading.
I move that we accept ordinance 983, an ordinance amending and repealing ordinance 968 regarding the registration of vacant buildings and properties within the limits of the city of Rocky Ford on first reading.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion from Martinez, a second from Mullins. Rebecca, will you call the vote?
Roberts,
No.
Mullins,
No.
Marone,
No.
Martinez,
Yes.
Mosby,
No.
Mayor Gurley.
No. So that motion fails with 1 to 5. Okay, so just to kind of follow up on that, as we did hear from Councilman Martinez, this discussion had come up in looking at what we need to do to get this implemented. So if there are changes that need to be made, if anyone, we need to make those by another ordinance, so we can get that drafted up. But if not there, this is an active ordinance, and the next step would just really be given direction over to Stacy so they can get this implemented and enacted. Any questions?
The only thing I had was like council person Roberts changing a word or deleting a word. I was deleting the little exception of governmental buildings. Other than that, everything else.
So maybe we just need to get together, print that out, change our word, eliminate that, and give it to Rebecca.
And I can work with them on
Okay,
how to do all this.
I'll just print it out, make those 2 adjustments, and get it over to Rebecca as a proposed.
I'm sympathetic to Nick's position too, which is why I believe they deserve to vote. But I don't agree with repealing it. So Nick, I would suggest if there's anything in there that you believe can be modified to make it better, throw that in there. I mean, it's not going to get repealed, but you've expressed that the fines were too high for one thing. So that may open up the door to something that's more amenable. There may be some concessions available.
I mean, if you want to work together on changing it and seeing what we can do to make it more workable. I mean, I understand that you don't want it, but if it's going to be there, what would you like to see? I understand that, but if there's,
I'm speaking for citizens that have came to me with concerns for that. Owners of properties with concerns. That's who I'm speaking for, not just me, because I don't fall under that. I live in my house.
And that's why I'm sympathetic to it.
and I understand, and I understand that too. I mean, but I don't think we need to get rid of it completely. So that's where we're at right now. So can we maybe sit down together and look at it and say, where can we make adjustments maybe that would be more
Yeah, I'm always open to that.
feasible to those things? So, okay.
Would you all be open to setting a separate work session for this? it sounds like, it sounds like there is, collaboration that, needs to happen on that. So to, just make sure that we're good with open meeting laws, I think that might be best for us to set a work session. So I'll reach out and kind of check calendars, and we'll get something set, and then we're able to get that posted and encourage, any of those citizens or anyone who wants to provide feedback while we're working through those proposed changes.
I'm busy tomorrow, man, so that's it. You wanna watch a movie?
I'm busy for the next 8 Wednesdays.
We'll find some time and get it set and scheduled.
And just on that note, I think it would be good to discuss among the council getting work sessions scheduled more frequently.
Yes.
And because it's an awful lot to ask our city employees to be here like 14 hours on these days, and it would be beneficial for us to be a little bit more prepared.
Rebecca, you don't like going home at 9 o'clock at night on Tuesdays, do you?
So
She prefers if we wait
I
till
would,
midnight.
I would support doubling our work sessions.
Oh, definitely. I think that there should be a lot more of this done other nights. That way, when we get here on Tuesdays, we already know what we're talking about.
Well, and
prepared.
we can't shove too much into the hour ahead of time, so.
Oh, I could.
We can run over it at other work sessions where we can't do that here.
And yeah, they'd be all open to the public, so we could get more info where people are more comfortable.
We'll connect and look at some options of what that can look like, different days, or maybe changing the Tuesday schedule, but we'll get together and get that nailed out. All right, the next one we have is item 13.3. This is a proposed ordinance number 984, an ordinance of the city of Rocky Ford providing additional clarity concerning the removal of city officers. This one is sponsored by Councilman Mullins, so I'll pass it over to you to kick us off.
Okay, so what this is regarding is a question that came up a few sessions ago on whether a city council member can be removed through a vote of the city council. At the last meeting, we kind of came to the consensus that that was not something the city wanted to pursue. One of the reasons that I'm proposing the original one and now a different one is that the state law on it is really ambiguous. The wording is the council has the right to punish. That's it. Which opens us up to lots of questions and potential lawsuits, and it's a big headache. And since the question's been raised, I find that it's probably a good idea to have something in place that clarifies that. My initial thought was to mimic the other two forms of government and the SURSA laws on that. We've kind of come to the consensus that we don't want to have that power as a city council. This ordinance would make that not a right that we have. So if we pass this, it will mean that we cannot make a motion to remove a city council member for cause. There are other ways that we can remove city council members for not attending meetings, moving out of the city and such, but specifically for cause, we would not be able to do that. JR?
Just moving out of the city, move out of your ward.
If you move out of your ward, you're right. It wouldn't change any of the current means by which someone could be removed. You just wouldn't be able to remove them for any sort of administrative reason. And I think there's also been quite a bit of discussion amongst us about this. I don't know if everyone's gotten a chance to read it, but it's, like I said, this one, the only thing is it adds in one sentence. I'm not sure I have that.
This
in
really
front of me.
isn't much different than what the state statute says, though. Am I correct?
Well, the state statute says that, the only thing it says is we can punish. What this does is it says we do not recognize the authority basically of the city council to remove council members via a vote. That's what it says.
Really, there's only two causes.
Yep.
One's for being absent multiple times, and the other is moving out of your ward.
Another way to look at it is it's a statement that says, except for the previously explicitly stated reasons, there
There's
are
no
no,
other
there are
reason
no
to.
other ways to remove it except through a citizen recall.
Good. Let's vote.
Any other discussion there?
Then I'd
For a
make a
motion.
I'd like to make
Go ahead.
a comment here on this. This has been ongoing for several months. I pretty much stayed out. I know we have a couple of members that asked for someone to step down. I stayed out of that. From what I hear, everything's been, the legal matters have been resolved. Whatever happened there, happened there. It's not involving me. But the conduct that we all present here at these meetings is very vital. I mean, we're representing the community here. And if we can't conduct ourselves here in a proper way, then we should step down. And with that, I agree with the two council members that asked for the step down. I agree. If we cannot conduct ourselves in a proper adult manner, we don't belong here. And I don't feel that it's my job to pull somebody from these seats here. That's the citizens who put you there, that's yours. But for me, yeah, I stayed out until now, and I agree with the two other ones, but that's all that's done.
And just for the citizens, I'd like to just add one more thing onto what Robert said. Because citizens had expressed concerns about the conduct of the council, one of the things that we took on is a code of conduct. And I believe that it's a significant improvement, and I think that will help councils in the future. So it's not as if we don't take concerns expressed to us seriously. We do. It's just difficult, and we don't always agree on solutions. It's just the way democracy works.
All right, so with this one, I look for a motion.
I move that we approve proposed ordinance number 984.
Second.
Okay, we have the motion from Councilman Mullins, second from Barone. Call the vote.
Mullins,
Yes.
Barone,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Mosby,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Mayor Gurley.
Yes. And this was on first reading, so we will see this again for second reading. Right. Move down to new business. Our first item, 14.1, is a new job description. So this is the outdoor recreation manager or community outreach and environmental coordinator. So Stacy, you want to kick us off on this?
Yes, so this is part of the SECO Rome, the RPI Regional Partnership Initiative that Rocky Ford is the lead on. We did get funding from Colorado Parks and Wildlife on this. So this would be a grant-based position. I didn't know whether outdoor recreation manager or the community outreach environmental coordinator, or what we want to call it, but so all the projects that I've started, this position will take some of that off my plate. Part of this would be developing, maintaining the RV park at the fairgrounds, keeping up to date on the progress on Crystal Lake. So yeah, revitalize the local recreation areas, and through the RPI, it's going to be there. I think officially there's 4 counties, but we're going to try to get the 6 counties basically from here to the Kansas border. But locally, it would be the Crystal Lake project, the fairgrounds, developing the nature-based classroom. We also have funding from the Colorado Health Foundation for this. We want to start a youth advisory council. The Los
Almost
Angeles
15 people in there tonight.
and increase access to nature and building partnerships with stakeholders throughout the regions in Seco Rome. So part of it's kind of overlapping some of the grant work, but, and the outdoor recreation piece of it as well.
And
So right
all-
now there is funding for.
This video is annoying, man. Why they can't fix
all-
their
all
shit?
that on there. Yeah, just kind of look at that. This is a grant funded position, 2-year grant funded
Okay, so
position.
it's a 2-year position.
And as long as the funding
States.
stays, we can keep this.
Okay, but it's only guaranteed right now for 2 years.
And through it, it would be looking at, building sustainability for itself. There are multiple grants that would be supporting this position. Currently, we've been working with consultants. This position would phase out, the work the consultants have been doing on facilitation. So this position would step in and take the lead on that. Stacy has, continued this. This was all Stacy created this and has led this over the last few years. And then Stacy moved into her new role of city manager and has continued to do this work. So this position would also be taking some of that responsibility off Stacy. And I think the other thing is working through that large project on the fairgrounds in Crystal Lake. There are opportunities there with the RV park and some of the other developments that could happen there, where it builds a revenue stream that is then able to keep this position funded. So that's what we would be looking at through working on some of the design and the community engagement is, where those opportunities are and, what programs can support this moving forward. So yeah, with this one, it's a new job position. So this would need to be approved by council. There is the pay range there. And then Stacy would be the direct supervisor and would be kind of able to hire within that range. Any questions?
It's a grant-funded position, correct?
Correct.
So the pay scale is for this 2 years. Would that pay scale then change based upon their ability to bring grants in to keep their position alive?
It could.
Okay. That's how I understand a lot of grant writers make their money, is it's built into the grants that they're writing to receive. So if they're being able to bring grants in, they're keeping a job, which we all know we need as many grants as we can get our hands on here.
Any other questions? Yeah, this one would be a motion.
Yeah, I have a question for Stacy. So right now you're taking on basically your previous role and now the city manager role, which is too much, frankly.
At times.
It's just too much all the time, to be honest. Your city manager position is too important to really have to focus on that other stuff, I think. Not that the other stuff's not important. It's just city manager is a more important position. What does this leave on the table for you still? Does this really address that issue, or is this just a tiny little pebble?
No, this will take quite a bit off my plate. There's weekly meetings, and Mayor Grueley's right there with me on this. He's been with every step of it. But there's weekly meetings. There's just.
I guess what I'm getting at is, do we, at that point, do you still need to perform, what is the other position's name? I'm forgetting what it is, the head of that.
Coordinator.
The rec coordinator. I'm doing the admin for that as well.
Is that position gonna still we need to find someone. to
Yes, this is,
take that.
so the rec coordinator would be for the youth programming, the adult programming, the sports piece of it, the Lego program. That would be, so that's a separate position.
Okay,
That is already budgeted.
so that's something we'll have to address at a different time.
Well, yeah,
No, it's already
That
a
one's
position.
yeah,
posted right now.
it's been.
Oh, that one's posted, okay. All right, I just wanted to see if there was some connection there that I wasn't making, but thank you for that information.
I'd like to make a,
You're still gonna continue with the Parks and Rec as well as the city manager?
I have been.
Yeah, but you're gonna continue though, I mean.
she's trying to get more help.
This is why, yeah.
I'm
but I mean,
trying to phase out of it. And I'll be honest, Parks and Rec was my baby for 20 years, and it's hard to give it up, but it takes a lot of my time. So this would help, these projects that we started, and then getting a rec coordinator hired with, and teaching them the budget piece of it and the admin piece of it will pretty much phase me out of all of that.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't put up for Parks and Rec when you took the city manager job myself.
Any more questions? Okay, no. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the job description for which name do you want? I like community outreach and environmental coordinator. So I make a motion that we approve the job description for the community outreach and environmental coordinator.
Certainly sounds better on a resume anyway. I second that.
All right, we have the motion from Councilwoman Roberts, second from Mullins. Call the vote.
Barone,
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Mosby,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Mullins.
Yes.
And Mayor Gurley.
Yes. Okay, that is approved. We will move on to item 14.2, and that is the discussion regarding proposed resolution number 4, series 2025, policy regarding the sale of city-owned property. And Councilman Martinez, kick it over to you.
Yeah, this one came about with I guess I consider the situation with the property over there at the old school admin. You know, whatever it was that led to whatever taking so long and the back and forth we had. So I just kind of threw together, I looked at some other communities, some other municipalities, and I think that we need to have a set, this is what happens when the city gets rid of a property that's owned by, because ultimately it's owned by the citizens. You know, as we manage it all. So it needs to be clear, transparent, everything done the same way, because we've, in my time here, we've put things up to bid, and then we just sold a piece of property that wasn't even up for sale without putting it to bid. So I just wanted to see things cleared up. This is just, hopefully you guys have some input and we can change it or accept it or whatever. I mean, you guys at this point. I think I wrote it well.
Yeah, I did read through it, and I'm inclined to agree. I'm not a politician. None of us really are. It's been stated before. And I'll be the first to admit mistakes up here. And as much as I like that program, I do believe I made a mistake approving that sale. I believe if the property was that valuable, then it can go up for bid. And I mean, he may have gotten it the same price, he may have gotten it cheaper, but it's worth what it's worth. And that's what the citizens should get for it if we sell property. And there's been other incidents besides that. There's been vehicles. Does this address property besides real estate, doesn't it? Yeah, I thought it did.
Anything. I mean, this could be
So-
as far as office equipment, really.
This addressed some issues that I don't know that the public is even really super familiar with, even this council, but there's been vehicles sold that raised eyebrows. And it would be helpful to know that can't happen. So I'm in support of it because I believe it addresses a mistake I made on the council.
I fully support this as well. I'm not going to say that we made a mistake. I don't think we did. I think he approached us, made an offer, and we sold him the property. In fact, I think some of you owe him an apology for the way you spoke about him and the way you talked about a man that wasn't here to defend himself. Y'all want to call me out on the way I've talked to people? Y'all should take a look at how y'all talked about him last week. So I do support
What
this,
a
but I
shit.
don't think this was the same as us deciding to sell something. He approached us, we took his offer, and I'll leave it at that.
I agree with this 100%.
Any other comments here?
Yeah, I'll just make one more comment. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I blame myself and I don't necessarily believe that I made the wrong call. It's just that we should have had a procedure in place that
But some of you
made
did
sure it
blame
was
him last week
well.
and called him out and made him out
Well,
to be the person that
I
did
don't
something
think
wrong.
that is-
and
All
he
right,
did not.
let's pull it back. We can hear all this. Let's hear it in order. Thomas, you,
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
Nicole, you have.
Oh, I y'all owe that man an apology.
Nick?
I don't think that's what we're here to talk about. I think we're here to talk about a resolution to make sure that we go forward with the procedure of releasing city property. And I'd like to make a motion that we approve resolution number 4, a resolution adopting a policy for the sale of any Rocky Ford city-owned real property, vehicles, and equipment.
No, yeah, we wouldn't be, we're not taking action on this.
Why?
This is our kind of our first view of it. So we would look at this, just kind of do our final run by city attorney, and then we would bring it back for action.
Get them.
So yeah, that right now, kind of just looking at any feedback, and it sounds like everyone is good with the wording here.
The resolution, we don't have to have first reading, second reading. What Nathan told me.
No, yeah, just it's a resolution, and being a policy, we want to make sure that we have that those finalized on it and everything's good there.
Yeah, you hold that up,
Yeah,
man.
this is our kind of our first introduction to it, so this is discussion only on this one.
Is it legal for him to make a motion to? I'm just a policy order.
Yeah, there is nothing on that says we can't see this one time and pass it all in one. There are other resolutions, maybe even on this agenda. Yeah, JR.
Well, I'm a trained parliamentarian, and I think you're out of order. You should have a motion and a second. You can't override a motion and a second by the council.
Did we get
All
a
right.
second?
Yeah.
We did.
Yep, I
Okay.
got a second on it.
Okay.
Get 'em.
Thank you.
Sorry.
We're kind of moved to discussion. So I think the only comment that I wanted to make on this, this is coming from a situation that made us realize that it would be good to have some sort of policy in place. Us not having anywhere to look to know, whether or not what we're doing is being done in the right order. So, those policies are really great. One of the things when we look at these policies for the sale of city property is, if it would prohibit or inhibit, development. And when we're looking at the real property, some of the scenarios we see is, a developer or a business, potential business who wants to move into the city, wants to make an offer, and this would have some real benefit to the community, where if we were to and then it's a property that wasn't marketed for sale, so it does create a little bit of a barrier and a possibility that someone can hear that, come in and just totally outbid and derail the project. But the way that this is written is it does say that a factor is that council would be looking at this to ensure that the proposed sale is reasonable and aligns within the best interest of the city, but while also ensuring transparency and fairness. And this it gives us a good policy to really protect ourselves, protect the community from any of those decisions being made at one person's discretion. So it
Forgive
gives
me,
us
but is
that,
the mayor
also
double talking right
allows,
now?
For opportunities for,
He likes to
businesses
hear
or,
himself.
people who have ideas. So it does allow us to, in this situation, the dollar amount isn't the only a factor. We would also be able to consider, overall benefit to the community. So, thank you for working on this, and, it looks good. We would just now, kind of the thought would be to pass it over to city attorney, but as it is a resolution, it's just as easy to pass another resolution next meeting if there is something in here that needs to be adjusted. So any other discussion? Okay, call the vote. Nope, call the vote. Yeah, we're moving to approve. So we had a motion from Martinez and a second from Barone.
No, I'm sorry. Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Lois Speed.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Mullins.
Yes.
Mayor Gurley.
Yes. Okay, so we did just approve resolution number 4, series 2025, a policy regarding the sale of city-owned property. And yeah, we'll get that. I don't know, Rebecca, can you get that? Can you get one printed out for us?
There you are.
This one is?
That resolution?
Yeah.
Need it?
For signature? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you want
First
it?
has
Doesn't
the
have it.
proposed on it, but Mayor Gurley's got the original.
All right, we're good on that one then. So let's move on to number 14.3, and that'll be discussion regarding proposed resolution number 5, series 2025, authorizing the city of Rocky Ford to raise sewer rates to cover capital improvements. So on that one, that is the resolution that we need to pass to do the sewer rate increases for the sewer improvement project. We are waiting on that resolution to be finalized. We did need to make some changes. So that one isn't ready tonight, but we will have that on the next meetings. So this one will be moving over. Yeah. I think on that one thing that I did want to maybe ask, and right now is still good time for that, is would it be good to set that effective date, to give us some time on that effective date? So I was looking at maybe doing a July 1 effective.
I think that
Sewer.
makes sense when I think anytime we're gonna do rates or anything, even the other stuff we were talking about, I think we need to have those, that fiscal year January 1, and then July 1 would be the smart way to do things, I think. Otherwise, they're all over the board because we're gonna do that one an annual increase for 4 or 5 years. So we need to make it the same.
So this resolution would name that increase. So we would be doing it this one time.
Yeah.
And then in there, it would be named that it would increase, every beginning of January every year. But the way that it's currently written, it would have went into effect on second reading. This one's a resolution, so it would have went into effect on passing. So yeah, that one, does everyone feel good about just giving some more time to communicate that out?
Having a specific date within that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll get that updated and we'll have that ready for the next meeting. All right, our next one is item number 14.4, discussion regarding proposed ordinance number 985. This would allow chickens within Rocky Ford city limits. Councilman Martinez, kick it over to you to get us started.
Yeah, this is had quite a bit of talk with citizens over this one over a number of years. So we finally got it put together. I thought it would be as simple as removing the word chickens. It's not that simple. Apparently we have to do politicking things and use these big fancy words that I only see in Bibles. But couldn't write this in King James, so you guys got it in political speech. But yeah, this would basically outline allowing citizens to raise their own egg producing breakfast pooping birds in the backyard, and bees. We've let bees in. Majority of citizens I've spoke with, 200 comments on Facebook. The citizens want this.
178.
I rounded. So don't be like my kids.
I was trying to review the general consensus, so.
Well, and I went through it, and I think there was 3 or 4 that were kind of no's, but I think most everybody, with a few differences of opinions, which I did adjust this from what you guys were originally sent last week. There's a few different changes in here, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I based the coop and the yard on the one that just passed from the state. So your 3 square foot and your 10 square foot run is based upon the cage free that the state of Colorado passed in the last election. So we're right in line with them. This gives us, Aurora's got chickens and bees. Every other community in the area allows it, and we're sitting in the middle of ag country. We're literally melon ears. Let's start acting like the country folk we are. Let's raise some birds and feed our people. I know before anybody says that we have a bird flu situation, I did my research on that, and the situation we're running into with that is that a bird gets sick, and in your backyard, in your 10 by 10 square run, that's the only people that are going to get sick. You're not spreading it. The reason we're seeing millions of chickens in the corporate is because they're all, there's 10,000 chickens in a room this size. Of course, everybody's going to get sick then. With us each having our own little flocks, we're not, in my opinion, slightly educated, I guess, we're not going to see the issue, or we'd be seeing birds falling from the sky daily. I don't think it's as big of an issue outside of the corporate egg producers. I think bees are also pretty well, they're not aggressive. You can run around outside their hive and they're not going to bother you. Unless you're attacking them, they can care less. So if you guys got anything else on it, that's.
My only concern was I feel there needs to be a rooster exemption in here.
There is.
I see where it talks about noise.
Yeah, so our noise ordinance is nothing over 55 decibels that could create a nuisance. So anything that is continual at that decimal can be considered a nuisance, and then it goes to noise ordinance enforced. A rooster can crow louder than that, of course, but he's not continuous. So if a citizen calls code and Tony comes over, he's got a decimal meter, or should. He can register that if it's continual for X amount of time. It hits the noise ordinance, and that citizen needs to deal with their situation. I personally have had roosters that you didn't even know were back there. So.
Well,
yeah.
And
I got a few comments.
I just don't think I just think roosters should be exempt completely. I don't see a reason that we need roosters in a backyard flock.
I do. I see a lot of benefit for it.
All right, real quick, before we go around council, I wanted Councilman Martinez to kick us off on this. I know we do have people here who wanted to provide, to speak on this. So I'm going to invite them up first, and then we'll bring it up to council. So kind of see, Ms. Martin, if you'd like to come up.
Yeah, my name is Thomas Martin. I'm here to support the whole community as my tenants. I own houses in every ward. I've talked to all my tenants, and they're all in agreement with Mr. Martinez about chickens. Basically, we live in a farming community, and they're approved everywhere else. I have houses in Aurora that I have miniature goats, and I have miniature horses in my backyard, which are approved in Aurora. I think that you're allowing the approval tonight of this chicken ordinance will provide the citizens of the Rocky Ford with new experiences for the children and the citizens alone. Also, it'll help solve part of our food inadequacy that we have within our city. Eggs are $8 a dozen now, and I don't see where a few birds in somebody's backyard hurts. Also, on the bee thing, I have bee boxes. I have them in the county. Doesn't bother anything. They don't swarm. They very seldom. They're not out to sting me. Trust me. I walk out there and get honey at them with nothing on. So I think the bees would be a good thing within our city. We're a farming community. Let's show the other farming communities around here, hey, we're going to be leaders in it. Maybe other communities will follow. And that also with bees, it's beneficial to the farmers around here and everything else. So I'm asking as a citizen and a representative of my tenants in all wards in the city that maybe tonight you could approve the chicken ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'll look to Mr. Hernandez. Did you want to speak on this? If you want to go from there, that'll be fine.
Somebody give her the mic or.
No, I'm for it. I think that it's a really good idea. You know, we've moved here, we've lived in Denver, I grew up in Denver my whole life, lived in Springs. Like you said, they have them, all these other places have them. And we moved down here because we wanted to get away from bigger cities, be more rural. And I didn't know that we couldn't have chickens. So, you know, it was kind of strange. I was like, you know, agricultural country. I'm right there on the edge too, and the people behind me have chickens because apparently they're not city limits where I am. It's also something that I want to teach my daughter, you know, to raise and care for chickens and learning stuff that ways that are kind of lost, you know, due to canning and raising chickens, and it's all stuff I want to teach my daughter. So I think that chickens should definitely be around. And like you said about the bird flu stuff, it's only in your backyard, and don't go purchasing people's eggs and birds that you have the bird flu, you know, so just come for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I make one more comment? I had a chance to text me. I was reading through your ordinance here. Would like to see this possibly add to the ordinance to approve sale of chickens and used within the city limits if a guy wants to open up a business. Because we're gonna approve all this before we're gonna buy them. Why not buy them locally from the city of Rocky Ford? She's asking for the city council to possibly approve and make an amendment to the ordinance that allows the sale of chickens and beef within the city limits. And it's required by the state of Colorado that a person that sells chickens within the city limits has obtained a state license from the state to sell them.
So that would
Yeah,
be
I
like
think that's
anybody
all-
opening a regular
I think that'd be a state issue, not us. Because I don't think we don't have anything against it. I mean, if you wanted to come and open a small version of a big R or something, you could do that in this town. That's a state.
It's not legal, so.
Yeah, it's not against us.
It's not illegal.
No, the state would, that's how they would have your
Yeah, they would have to
licensing and
obtain
your
a
health department
state
stuff would all go
business
through them.
license.
That wouldn't come through us.
I think there needs to be a provision in the ordinance allowing a business to open, like a feed lot around here, a feed store on Main Street, they want to sell chickens. And if the ordinance
I think
now,
they'd be fully able to. We'll have to look at that.
It doesn't allow them, but they have to, in the state of Colorado, you have to have a state license. So,
Yeah, so it'd have to go through state, not us. That's what I'm saying.
well, the city has to approve the state license.
Yeah, you would have to, they'd have to pass the health department.
Yeah, it'd have to go through a bunch of other stuff, but we can look at that. That can be added on if
You
it needs to
didn't put
be.
anything in here that says that they can't sell commercially. It just says they can't from their home.
So there's what,
It would be separate.
that's
That
handled by
would be
the
looking
different
at
state
commercial.
departments.
Yeah.
The Colorado cottage laws is if you're gonna sell eggs, it's managed by the Colorado cottage laws. You have to have them, cleaned at a certain time, kept at a certain temperature, has to be proper manufactured packaging, all this different, those are what the cottage laws say. We don't need to do any of that. We just need to say, hey, you can have birds. Everything else to be managed, because if we start managing all that stuff, not only are we stepping on the state's toes, we're just adding more work to us that we don't need. This is supposed to help
Or more
relieve
stuff for
work.
us to skip over, right?
I don't think we're skipping over. I think the state's already got it handled.
All right, well, the only comment I have about this is, I read under your section 2 enforcement and penalties, and there's no enforcement or penalties. Are you
Yeah,
gonna,
because
are you,
we're ensuring compliance with other ordinances we have.
or,
what?
I mean, where's the penalties, is what I'm saying, is what are, there's
Well,
penalties
what
for
penalty
dogs.
would you like to add?
So if there's penalties for dogs, your
What
dog's
penalties
out
are
and
there for
running,
dogs?
they get arrested, you get charged, so you have to get them back out, things
Okay.
like that, you know.
Then it'd be the same for chickens. If my chickens got out, he would fall
So
under that
it'd be the
loose
same.
animal.
I don't know, it's not the same.
Would
Still be
if
animal at
if
large.
we could on this, let's hear him, and then when we get it back over here, if anyone needs to make a comment, but
I just think it needs to be clear, what the penalties are on that, because there's a separate penalty for each violation. So cleanliness of yards, I mean, my only concern is that most of the people that I've seen that want chickens can't maintain their own yards, let alone maintain a chicken coop, you know. But I just was wondering, you know, enforcement and penalties is my, you know, I don't see enforcement. You're saying requirements is to have this, but if you don't have it, do we just overlook it? That's my only question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Are there any others on this one? From crowd? No? Okay. All right, so we'll start with
I got
Barone.
some, and I'll start out first. The only individual that contacted or spoke to me about chickens was a constituent or two. She says she has no problem with it, but she thinks there ought to be a limit of 3 hens, no roosters.
I know.
That's the only comment I have from there. Now, I did make a reach. I reached out to my homeowner's insurance. And this is just my insurance, not the other ones that are available. This is what, he was against it. But this is what he told me. He says chickens and bees are not pets. They can't be considered pets. The homeowner may need to get or may need to pay for an extra coverage, a rider, or sign an exclusion for farming. So those are some considerations. If you get chicken, you might need to get a hold of your homeowner's insurance. See what's going to be covered there. Chickens may only be kept in residential areas. What's the definition of a residential area? You know, I lived in Albuquerque a long time ago, right by Old Town, but it was grandfathered in. So I had chickens, dogs, rabbits. Neighbor had horse. The other neighbor had cows, sheep. Just in that area because they were in there when their law went in. They were grandfathered in. Something else that a lot of people that raise chickens like to raise quail and pheasant. You know, open the door there. What if your chickens have, if you do have a rooster, what if you got chicks? Then you got 12 chickens and how many chicks? I mean, this is all stuff that hasn't been addressed.
That's why I was talking about the restraint.
Number 4, chickens must be kept in a clean, humane manner. Owners may remove waste regularly to prevent odor or health hazards. How do they dispose of the waste? What do they do with it? Chickens are messy. I had them. I had about 15 of them. They're messy. They're not maintenance free. How often do they need to clean up after them? The health of the chicken. I know at least once a year. I used to dust mine down for lice. Like I said, they're not maintenance free. You need to, you know, stuff like that and other illness or whatever. Also, chickens chase kids. They like to chase kids and scratch and bite. I mean, they have some nasty claws. You know, so that also might come under your insurance, but you know, your liability there. Beekeepers. Now, for beekeepers, you're gonna have swarms or hives, whatever, in your backyard, on your residence, whatever. Are you gonna be required to have an EpiPen in case somebody gets sick that's walking down the sidewalk that is allergic? Hey, you laugh, but these are things to consider.
I'm listening.
You know, since February of 2022, over 99 million chickens and turkeys have been killed in the U.S. alone. Over 50 million were killed between 2014 and 2015 because of, these are all the domestic flocks. Weld County, Greeley, this year they've had over 50,000 that they've killed. Granted, they're egg producer, and everything, but beekeepers must ensure that their hives do not pose a danger to surrounding residents or animals. How far away must they be kept from buildings or public access areas? That's not addressed. Chicken coop requirements, size, minimum floor area for a chicken coop shall be 3 square feet. Anybody figure that out? That's 21 inches by 21 inches.
3 square foot per bird.
Per bird.
Per chicken.
But 3 square foot is 21 inches by 21 inches per
This is
chicken.
state standard.
Okay, that's a state standard. That's not much area. So they're gonna probably be roaming free during the day.
Looks like to fix the picture at least.
They're gonna be roaming free. They do fly. I had a 6-foot fence. They
Nick,
hit up
Nick,
my neighbor's
we're
yard.
listening right now.
It ain't over yet.
You're encouraged to minimize odors and potential for disease. You're encouraged, not mandated. Protection from predators. I mean, chickens, cats, everything, small dogs, animals. You know, you're gonna have them out there. If they're roaming in the yard, you're gonna have owls, hawks, eagles, who knows, whatever birds of prey that might be floating around out there that coming down on your other animals or hopefully not a kid. You know, if they are roaming the yard, they're free, you know, if they're out of the cage, are you gonna require them to have overhead netting or anything? Or, you know, if they got, like you said, there's a lot of stuff that's not addressed here. Effective date, the owners need to report sick chickens. If they have something going on in their flock, do they need to report it? If so, how soon and how do they disinfect the area? Will the city require a permit license to have said animals? And also, can eggs or honey be sold, business license? The H5N1, which is the bird flu, northern Colorado, it's Sewell County, destroyed over 1.8 million chickens and over 6 million total, or a total of 6 million have been totaled as of July 9th of this year. Over 20 million as of 2025 in the US alone. Colorado currently has an outbreak of the Asian flu, the H5N1. It has spread to dairy cattle. It has spread to the farm workers trying to kill the chickens. They all had to have their outfits, respirators, gloves, and we still had 26, if I remember right, of the individuals up by Weld County, in Weld County, got sick. If I remember right, nationwide, I don't think it was Colorado, but there has been one human that has died from bird flu. I spoke to the vet this weekend. Bird flu has crossed where it's now detected in dogs, cats, and young goats. Her response was, when it gets into pigs, be careful because the pigs mirror humans really closely. So that was her concern about all of that. Right now, somebody said birds are dropping out of the sky. I kind of beg to differ on that because there was a warning bird out about a month ago of an unlucky forward swing. Pigeons, I think it was a European something, another pigeon just falling out of the sky and dying. You find them, don't grab them, call Fish and Game. What's going on there? I don't know. They don't know either. Something's going on. So when we start opening the door to a bunch of animals, I know if I wanted to raise animals, I would have moved outside the city limits. When I moved into a city, stayed in the city, it was my understanding was external city regulations. I understand that. You got to look up to see what's there. Like I said, I lived in Albuquerque. We had them there. They were zoned, not the whole community. They were zoned. Now, when you're saying other communities have it, are they zoned because they were grandfathered in like Albuquerque, or what? None of that's been addressed. So, I mean, that's just the concerns I had on that and talking to the people, the vet, insurance, people.
Can I make a response?
No, we'll go through and we will come back. If we do have people that want to speak again, we'll bring it back out. So right now we're kind of listening to feedback here. When we come back out, I'm seeing 2 hands already. Nanette, check in with you on any input here.
Yes, I am in support of chickens. I do think that there is a lot more language that needs to be added in. Kind of some of the concerns that Barone brought up. I think some of those concerns can be addressed by adding some additional language into it. As far as maximum of chickens, I believe 12 is too much. 6 is reasonable. Maybe a max of 8. I also think that there should be registration and or permits. And I also believe that there should be some fees associated with that because this is ordinance. There is going to be enforcements that are going to be required. So that's going to be additional cost added on to enforcement. So I think some of that cost can help offset some of that.
You want eggs, $8 a dozen, ain't nothing. to what
Definitely
they're
no
gonna collect.
roosters. That's the whole point of having a maximum of
Yeah, they're gonna get that
chickens,
money, huh?
hens. So that's to not have more than what you are allotted to have. And I'm just looking over my notes here, so. Those are just some of my concerns and suggestions for adding some additional language. Oh, one other thing was the waste. I think we should definitely have something in there that's more clear on how to handle the waste and or chickens that have died. How are we supposed to dispose of that? So those, I think that's gonna finalize what I gotta say.
Like it needed, lady.
All right, Nanette, thank you. Nicole?
I agree with a lot of what a lot of people are saying. I'm all for chickens. I'm ready to find what I want to order and get some chickens going. I've wanted chickens for a long time. I think that we've needed chickens here in Rocky Ford for a very long time. I definitely don't think we need roosters. We're not in this for the reproduction. We're not in this for the reproducing. I mean, I understand that people are going to order eggs and brood them or whatever, and so that they're incubated and crack their own egg, whatever. I'm going to order some chicks because I want some eggs. And I mean, however you want to do, that's fine. But I don't think we need roosters. I don't want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to some of my neighbor's rooster going off. And I'm sure I'm going to wake up whether it's over the decibel range or not. So I don't think roosters are needed. I think we're okay with the 12. I think that's a good flock for a decent sized family. I do think we need a little bit more regulation in here. I do think I think registering is not a bad idea. I don't know that I think that there needs to be fees associated with that. It's already going to be expensive to raise your own chickens. This is a very good starting point. I think we're at a very good starting point here. But I do think that in order to make more people happy with this, to be compliant with other codes, is having it be registered so that we know where they're at. We can go look at them. If somebody's complaining about them, we're able to go look and see what's going on. So I think a little bit of tweaking and we're in the right direction here. I don't really have a whole lot to say other than no roosters, and let's get some changes made so we can make some votes on this, because let's get some chickens. I'm ready to order chickens. So I'm okay. That's why I want to order them now so that they can be ready to lay. I know, but the sooner you order them, the sooner you get chickens and eggs. I'm excited, so I'm ready to do this.
Thomas?
All right, a few rare things. Rare to find citizens in Rocky Ford so excited about something in the community. It's pretty overwhelming. I don't have statistics on it, but to get close to 200 responses on Facebook, knowing that probably only half the citizenry even has Facebook to begin with, is pretty incredible. And to get something like maybe 5% negative feedback and maybe only 10% offering tweak type feedback is also incredible. My thoughts on it as written, I moved out here because I wanted to homestead at the time. I didn't really end up ever doing that. I raised rabbits, and after slaughtering like 30 or 40 of them, I kind of lost my taste for them. But I respect anybody that wants to do that, and it helps people respect the food that they eat. So I'm 100% on board. And I wasn't initially, because it seems like, yeah, we're a city, but we are ag country, and the big cities have moved this way. And there's no sense that we should try to pretend to be New York or anything that we're not. This is what people in this community want. Insurance questions have been raised. Yes, talk to your insurance company if you're concerned about liabilities. Your insurance company will be able to help you on that. I don't really think it's going to be a big concern. Bird flu, I think what Nick said on that is pretty accurate. We have the free range chickens here. Well, if you've seen what that means, it means a 24,000 square foot barn with 500,000 chickens in it. I mean, you have to kick them out of the way to walk from one end of the barn to the next. So it's not like they're out in some big pasture someplace getting lots of sunlight. They're in a barn. At least every time I've seen it. So I don't think that's really such a concern. The other rare thing here is that I take a more libertarian stance than Nick. And I believe, if anything, there's too much regulation in this bill. I just don't think we need to be creating rules for problems that do not exist yet. If a problem comes to pass, then we create rules. There's no point to create all this stuff that we don't know how to enforce because it's not even an issue yet. We can revise this as we go. If something comes up, if thousands of chickens in Rocky Ford suddenly get diseases, well, we know we have to act, right? We can modify it at any time. We can be nimble. That's one of the benefits of being a small city, is we have that ability to make drastic changes quickly if needed. We have to. So I don't really agree that we should have a whole lot of regulation on stuff like registration fees. I'm against that. I don't believe that we need registration fees. Raising chickens is not necessarily that much cheaper than eggs. Raising rabbits is not cheaper than buying meat in the store at all. It's way more expensive. I think the people doing it are mostly going to be responsible, especially considering that people already do this. And the only people we're opening this up to are people that are following the law already. So it's the people who are not doing this that want to do it. We're just opening the door up to them. And they're going to be the people most likely to be responsible about it to begin with.
Because they're already doing the right thing.
Exactly. Roosters, I don't know enough about them to make a stance, but JR kind of made a slight comment there, which is trains. Okay, there's no way any rooster crowing at 5 a.m. for 5 minutes is going to be more disturbing than the trains that come through here 5-6 times a day. I mean, I'm like a mile from the tracks, and if I have my window open, like it's louder than I play the TV. So I don't see them as being a problem. Like I said, I don't know what the need for them is. I have a question mark on that. Code enforcement is another thing that's been brought up. I don't really believe that we need enforcement of this because I believe Nick's correct. Noise is an ordinance that already exists. Disposing of waste. People pay for chicken food. People use it for all kinds of stuff. It's good fertilizer.
It's amazing fertilizer.
Yeah, so I
It's
don't
going in my garden.
I don't think we're going to run into problems with people throwing it out in the street or something, and kids
you can
playing in it.
bag it,
You know what I mean?
If they do, I'll come sweep it up.
I would say you can bag it and put it in your trash can. I mean, it's, if that's a concern, I mean,
Yeah.
and then it's going to the dump and it's aiding in the processing of the dump being revitalized. I mean, isn't that the idea of using that?
My concern is we have people with animals now that don't maintain them. You're gonna bring in more.
I don't want to put a lot of burdens on the people that have come here tonight to express their excitement in this. And also was brought up about bee allergies. This is something that citizens have brought up. However, the 1 or 2 citizens that brought this up did not express that they actually have a bee allergy. What I've read is about 1% to 2% of the population does have a bee allergy. That's similar to peanuts, and the people that have peanut allergies know that they need to carry EpiPens. There are bee farms here already. There are millions and millions of bees, and they exist on the whole entire planet. If you're going to die from a bee sting, and I've been stung once from a bee in my entire life, it flew into my shoe, and then I stepped on it. They just don't sting people. I've watched beekeepers go to the beehive with nothing on, no protections. They pull out the stuff, brush them off, harvest the stuff, and put it back, and maybe they get one. But they got their arm deep into thousands of bees. So if they're that concerned about it, it needs to be their responsibility to carry the medicine that'll keep them alive.
Honeybees
But
are
if you're
the
just walking down the
aggressive.
street, it had nothing to do with the bees and you get stung by, it, I mean, that's my concern.
We'll bring it back for final comment for everyone.
That's all I have.
Good, Thomas. All right. Yeah. So I've been in this since I think 2019. I'm really look at this from a couple of ways. First and foremost, it builds self-sufficiency for us. Also look at it from the mental health side. I remember hearing from someone who happened to be Nick Martinez, wasn't councilman at that time, but just I remember your story about speaking to little Nick and that need, and that was something that I didn't think of at that time, but now with one of my daughters, I've seen those relationships, so I see that mental health aspect of it, and then I think the final big one is truly just honoring our roots and what we hear people talk about all the time of that rural way of life. My story in 2019, I moved my wife and family from Denver area. My wife's always grew up in the city, and at that time I guess didn't even think that chickens weren't allowed. We were in Littleton and we were able to have chickens. We were in a townhome, so we didn't. But that was our whole plan of moving to Rocky Ford, and we knew we were going to end up in the city. So that was one thing. It's we're moving to this area out in rural Colorado because we want to learn these things. We want to have a better relationship with agriculture and with raising life and that life that'll sustain us in other ways. And then we learn that it's not allowed. We don't have access to that. The petition was started a long time ago, and we kind of worked through this, and it just died. But for me now, through my work with Small Town Project, what we do is we work in food security, and what we're working to do is to not just provide access to food for people, but we want to really help strengthen our local food system. When we look at food system, it's how well can we access food outside of a commercial store, so going to Walmart or even maybe even food market. And although we're in an agricultural community, we have millions of tons of things being grown all around us. It's not accessible to us in that way. A lot of that is being produced and exported outside of our area. So a lot of us are reliant on going to the store, and COVID really showed all of us, how we really don't have that resilience. When then those eggs weren't available on the shelves, and that was at that time, it would just, it wasn't available in inventory. We seen, that if we lose that commercial distribution, we lose access to eggs. So if we can create an opportunity for more people to, do this for themselves, and then under cottage laws, that there is that there, so it could possibly create a revenue stream for people. So that's something we just heard that, some radio station is saying Rocky Ford is the poorest city in Colorado. I don't believe that, but if so, how do we increase that household income? So this provides a way to increase that revenue stream. That's all I have to talk on those couple things that I seen in this. One of them was where it specifically states residential. I know we had talked about this. There's if your house is across the street from Food Market on 9th Street, that's technically a commercial zone, a mixed zone. So that would not, be allowed. So I think on this one, I would like to see that come out as far as.
Did you see the new one? That has been removed.
Okay, no,
So
I didn't. Yeah, so that was one. I think if we're doing this in city limits, it's across city limits. So if we were to say residential only, then that would exclude some people there. That would exclude, maybe someone wanting to do this commercially in our commercial district. So, but yeah, that being removed, that covers that. This has been contentious, and I know when we originally were proposing this, I had drafted a ordinance and presented it to council at that time, and I went really overboard on restrictions because I knew it was contentious. So, I had registrations, I had fees, I had, all these big setbacks that really nailed it down. And Nick, I remember at that time you were against a lot of those. And it was just really, how can we get this passed and compromise on all sides. I've heard, a lot of people in support of it. I've heard people against it. And then when we get into some of the specifics, roosters is one that has continued coming up for me. So that's a pretty common one that I've heard from people that, they're all for the hens and chickens, but, and the hens for the eggs, but not the roosters for, reproducing chicks. So that's kind of one that I've had come up recurring. And then also just, want to do what we can to maintain relationships among neighbors. So although that noise might not reach a decibel level, it can be annoying and it can create a new problem that we really don't want with neighbors out there. And then now looking at, do we need to, have all these rules and fees with it? I do still believe that registration is needed. I think that answers some of the questions of, enforcement. Our code enforcement officer knows, has a list who has chickens. He can go and look and see, what the conditions look like. If there are sicknesses and, maybe we do know that something is in the area, we have a registration that we can start with and reach out to people to, check on how their, chickens are doing. With that though, I don't think now that any fees, I think when I originally wrote this, we were like registering each chicken.
Yeah,
per chicken. I don't think we need to do all that.
Can we maybe marry it a little bit and find some happy ground in between?
Well, okay.
So that's those are kind of just some of the comments there. And last thing I would say is I think, I think this one there's enough people that care about it on both sides that I think we need to, find some good compromise here. But definitely in support of chickens. So that's what I have. I'm gonna bring it back out to the audience. I know Tom, and then I know JR. If anyone else.
So I'm just here looking around, and this is probably the most people I've seen. I come to city council meetings in quite some time, and I'm sure they're not here to see the Colorado Municipal League plan report coming up. So I imagine you guys are here for chickens. To address Mr. Barron, Barone, sorry. The thing about chickens is the people have spoken. It's quite clear on Facebook. There's more people with Mr. Martinez's ordinance supporting this than the people. Your chances of being stung by a bee are probably greater in your flower garden than messing with a bee. I mess with mine and they crawl over me. And unless you're aggressive toward bee, it's not theirs to sting you. Number two is I probably have a better chance of being bit by a dog walking down the street than being stung by a bee or attacked by a chicken. And I must admit, I don't agree very often with Mr. Mullins, but I will agree on this one. We butt heads, okay? I'll be honest with that. But muddying up the code, to me, let's pass the code and see what we need. Because the problem we have with the City of Rocky Ford codes is sometimes it takes an attorney just to figure out what it says. I mean, if you put all these, it's gonna be more time consuming. I mean, what are we gonna hire? A chicken patrol? I mean, a code enforcement man for chicken patrol?
Can I design that logo?
What I'm saying is other cities don't require registration. They don't require all these ordinances. I mean, my house in Aurora, my neighbor has a miniature goat and a donkey, a little tiny donkey in his backyard. I never knew it was there. As for noise for a rooster, I have a house way out here on Road 18, farther than a crap from the county, and I can still hear the train. And when you come by here with the train at night, you can hold your ears in here because you can't hear people speak. So the rooster thing to me doesn't seem to be a problem. If it became a problem at that time, I think maybe you could do something about it. But this point, at this time, I think muddying up all of Mr. Martinez's hard work just doesn't seem to be right. I'll agree with Mr. Mullins. I moved here by choice. I didn't move here because I had to. I moved here by choice. And being a farming community, let's allow all these people, to have a chicken. What's it going to hurt? I mean, you don't even have to refrigerate eggs. Most people think that you have to refrigerate eggs, and you don't. I leave them on my counter for weeks. The thing is the people have spoken, and the people have asked you to be more transparent, show care for our community. And I think this is a good ordinance to pass to show, hey, we're listening to you. We're here for you. And on the other note, let's show some pride in the city of Rocky Ford and pass this ordinance tonight. Let's show the citizens that we're here to not meddle up their everything, and let's get it done. Let's pass it tonight and go on and let everybody have their chickens and see what goes from there. Thank you.
Thank you. JR? JR, will you come up so we, JR, will you come up so we have you on record?
Bet. May take me a little while.
You're all right.
We got time.
Can we just get him a?
Yes, in case you don't know me, I'm J.R. Thompson. I just wanted to address Mr. Barone's comments about all of the chickens that died of avian flu. Those were almost exclusively in commercial operations. I've had a discussion about that with Rick Ritter, who's the executive director of the Otero County Health Department. More to the point, the state has issued more recently a warning about so-called ringneck doves, Eurasian doves, and there's apparently a virus that attacks only them. And if you listen to the state health department, they would tell you they're just falling out of the sky. Rick says they're not dying around here. They're still coming to my bird feeder, and they look just as healthy as they always did.
Thank you. I'm gonna go Miss Mays and then back over here.
I just want to say, I came from Kansas and we got to have chickens over there. And there was no fees or anything, but we did not get to have roosters, which didn't matter because we were just more of the egg thing. But when you said today, reach out and help somebody or do something good for somebody, you're doing it for us, the citizens. That's something good to do, is give us, we are the people for you as well. So when you go against it like that, how do you think that makes all of us feel when we want to, watching a child grow up, you can make a pet out of a chicken. My kids did, and it's glorious to see a child grow up to do that stuff. I had a giant Brahma chicken, rooster actually, and I couldn't keep him, so I got rid of him. But when I did have him, my kid loved him, and it was a pet. So you can't say you can't make a pet out of, there's some things you can't, but he did. My kids did have him as pets, and I had to get rid of him, but he did have pets as the hens too, were his pets.
So the pet thing came from the insurance company. The insurance says you cannot say you have a pet chicken.
Well, I don't know what the
My
insurance would
company
say,
anyway, I don't know about
but I don't know, my insurance never would have bothered me about that because we were allowed to have them, but I'm just saying, you're talking about do something good for people, then, that's something good you can do, is at least give the citizens a chance to go with this, and that should make your day to make somebody happy like that. But they can be pets, and watching children with your animals, just like Dwayne said, that it's a blessing to watch your kids grow up in this kind of an area. You can't beat that. It's a blessing to watch your child grow up and learn how to take care of things, how to love them and nurture them, just as they would their own children. So it is a blessing, but you can do something good for your citizens. That's what I got to say.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Hernandez? Yeah.
She just needed a little nap.
I know, she needs to refresh.
Want some sugar now?
I brought her Nintendo, but I just wanted to see.
So I made a few notes. So as for, you're talking about the waste, compost, putting in compost, use it in your garden. What do we do with when I go clean the yard for my dog poop, it goes in the trash can. So waste, it shouldn't really be an issue to think about. And as for adding all that extra stuff into it, as the time comes, I think, don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Like right now it sounds good, and if issues arise, deal with it as they come. I don't think that there should be a registration. I feel like that's too much of an overreach. I don't like government all up in my business, so I just think that that's too much. As for chickens flying into your neighbor's yard, you can clip their wing so that they're not. Yeah, you can clip their wing off on the side. Yeah. Also, insurance. I doubt anyone's gonna call their insurance asking about their chickens. Some might. I mean, if you do, you do. But let's see here. Also, as for I know he was talking about people's properties and having them be like being dirty or whatever and not upkept, and they're gonna be the same way with their chickens. You can't take something away from everybody just because you have a select few people who aren't gonna do things properly. So why punish the people that want to do it right because there's other people that there's people that go out there and drive drunk? Should we ban cars because they're doing the wrong thing and other people are doing the right thing? So there's that. Also, like looking into the future, things are a little wild. You never know. What if stores might not always be there? Who knows what could happen in the future? So I think that it would be good to learn how to raise chickens, teach our children how to raise chickens, garden, do all these things to be self-sustaining. That's, like you said too, a whole reason that we moved down here too. I never thought that we couldn't have chickens out here. We're way out here, away from Denver and everything. And even they can have chickens in Denver. So I thought it was pretty wild that we couldn't have them down here. But like Facebook, all those people on here, majority of people that I saw were for this, and I'm for this. A lot of people showed up tonight that are for it. So yeah, we want this. And like he said, hopefully you guys can hear us. So this is what we want, and go ahead and pass it. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Swinging around one more here. And then also, I get with this, there is some work that needs to be done. So, this is kind of first proposal. So big thing, everyone wants to share those. Nick's listening. Nick's going to be taking the lead on crafting this. But, anybody has those recommendations, speak them here, but also, we'll be following up to share those with him, so to see if those make it into his version. And we'll start over there, bring it one more time.
I was just gonna see if maybe it would be better to close with Nick, but
That might be a good idea
That's-
to close with Nick.
It's up to you. You run it.
Okay. I'm good. I said what I have to say.
Okay. Other things have come up, or I just forgot to address before. There was some mention of maybe we're opening up the door to other birds. Good. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have any problem with quail. I think it's a ridiculous animal to farm. You need 50 eggs to make an omelet, but there's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, you just need 50 of them to make one plate, but registration is a question mark for me. I hear what Dwayne's saying. It would be helpful if there was some sort of community message that we wanted to get out to everyone who did that. It sounds like Dwayne's on board with a no fee type registration, which I think would be minimally burdensome to the city and to people who are wanting to participate in this. I don't really see a problem with doing that if it's going to be a no fee situation, especially, and we're not talking about registering birds. We're just saying this property, we've got a hen's nest. So that's just, I don't see the problem with that per se. I also don't think there should be a penalty if somebody doesn't do it though. It's more like hey, this is a community alert line. We're going to tell you important information should it become available. As far as passing tonight, I think Dwayne kind of already covered that. It's not really in that place yet. There's feedback that Nick needs to take back, and I also don't think it's technically parliamentary allowed or parliamentarian. May be able to say
It's
that.
an
but
ordinance versus a resolution.
Yeah, we're not even allowed to do that, just to address the citizen voice there. And then a little bit of hostility I felt getting directed towards Robert, because he had the goal to play the devil's advocate. I don't suspect that Robert's actually opposed to this. I'll let him speak for himself, but he's a very thorough person, and he really has his heart in the right place and the best interest of all the citizens. So if anybody expresses a concern to him, he's certain to raise that up here so that everyone's aware of it. And I appreciate all of the feedback that he's brought in today, and it's valuable that we hear that. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words. Mr. Martinez, can I make a comment?
No.
Dwayne, I'm gonna say something. You're so against registration, but what is in your backyard, sir? A goose this tall behind your house. You're in violation now, and Mr. Martinez has a picture because your neighbor called me about it.
Yeah, so just so everyone is clear, I have had chickens for a long time. I currently don't. So, yeah,
But you have a goose this big, sir.
I currently don't, but thank
Mr.
you.
Martinez has a picture of it.
Timestamp, I don't know. Yeah, it's no
It's on my phone.
no big deal, but yeah, I have had chickens since I moved here in 2018. And at this time, I currently don't.
But I have it on my phone. It's one of
All
the
right,
reasons-
thank you, Thomas. At this time, I don't.
I go by your house.
You do all the time. It's fine.
Got it. Back to
I
the
think it's
meeting.
to Nicole.
You know,
Yeah, I lost. Sorry about that.
that's okay, you know, everybody's got to take their, haters and deal with it. I'm for this. I'm ready to do this. I mean, I know we need some tweaks in here and stuff like that. I'm going to send my suggestions over to Nick. Really, all I think is we need no roosters to address a couple of things. As far as the permit registry, I think it's a simple, hey, I've got a flock at this address. There's anything going on, there's no need to go and bother somebody if they're not doing something wrong. As far as code compliance and stuff like that, there's already codes out there that say you have to keep your pet waste clean. There's rules and codes that say that you have to keep your yard clean, that you have to control your animals, and those regulations are already there. Maybe we have if you're not in compliance and somebody complains about you, we send over code enforcement to talk to you about it. If you don't fix it then and you get another complaint, then we're gonna, give you a fine. If you don't fix it after that, we're gonna take away your flock. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, none of these things are gonna pertain to you. If you go get a flock and you take care of it and you do what you're supposed to do, those that aren't taking care of their yards and aren't taking care of things right now, yep, they're gonna continue to not take care of those things. Those of us that don't have chickens right now and are taking care of our yards and doing what we're supposed to do, when we go get chickens, guess what? We're going to keep doing what we're supposed to be doing, and we're going to keep following the rules, because that's what people that follow the rules do, is we continue to follow the rules. So yes, there's a few things that need to go in there, but give us a few more weeks. Let us get this regulated the way it needs to be done, and we're going to get you guys some chickens, I think. I mean, unless it's not going to pass, but I'm pretty sure it's going to pass. So let's just do a little tweaking here, and we'll get some chickens going. It's just a formality at this point.
All right, Nanette.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of make a clarification on the registration or the fees that I had. I was just meaning it more in the aspect of people having to register, something in the aspects of like a one-time fee, your registration. We have to do that with our dogs. So I don't see that would be too much of a burden. I would definitely like to see something that would be reasonable for the community. And, other cities do have ordinances, they do have fees, and they charge annually. And those fees are very hefty for a lot of those cities. So with us starting out, I just kind of feel that it's just, yes, here's my registration, here's, you know, my $10 fee to say I have them at this property, and that's it. So I just wanted to make that clarification.
All right, thank you. Robert?
Okay, as I said earlier, you know, I know in Albuquerque, about place, a big city, I had chickens, so, and I totally agree with everything you said about the kids, my kids, morning, get up, go check them, eggs, go pick eggs, go feed them, butcher and eat them. I mean, the wife said they wouldn't like that, they wouldn't eat them, she was wrong. They got into all that, it's a good learning experience, it's part of life, I totally agree with all of that. It was stated that maybe there's too much written into what was in there already, maybe it was over too many rules or whatever in there, but to me, we need to have code on it, because when you have codes governing things, you're being proactive. If there's no code, you wait till afterwards, you're being reactive. When you're being reactive, you're picking up after something has happened. Hopefully not that. That's what I like, you know, let's be proactive, let's not do things after the fact. You know, if we have something on file, as Nicole said, you know, the people that follow rules, regulations follow them, the ones that don't. You know, but as far as codes for these, they need to be there. As I said, I raise chickens, and if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for the chickens and everything, you're not really saving money. I went to the store yesterday, 5 dozen eggs was down to $24. They were at 36. Believe me, my wife goes through a lot of eggs, but they are dropping. This is supposed to last 3 to 4 months, and then it's supposed to not be such as bad, but they are starting to put limits at Costco and stuff. So, but it's not really cost saving if you do things properly. It was also stated that we live in a farming community, but you can't get farming or the produce, which is, to me, it's false, because every summer for the last 15 years, I go to farms because it's cheaper. I have to wash my own produce, but hey, I go out to get my own watermelon, my own cantaloupe, without going to the store or the market. I go to the farm. You know, I'm sure that if I wanted other things that was there, I can do the same thing, go for them for other product. It's out there. Social media, I see eggs are advertised. People advertising eggs that are here, probably not in town, but from outside of town. You know, or if they are, they are. You know, but eggs are being advertised. I mean, and they were cheaper from what I saw advertised. There was $4.50 a dozen or so over the weekend. Somebody advertised. So things are there. Trains, they're saying, well, it's not any louder than the train, but you gotta remember, trains were here before we were. This town was built around the trains, and then the people came with the chickens. But Rocky Ford grew up around the railroad. The railroads are usually always first. That's what brings the people. And as it was stated, you know, wherever we go with this, we just need to get the involvement from the community to follow the rules. Otherwise, we're going to have issues. It was also stated insurance, you know, might not check insurance. Most people won't call their insurance. Well, that's fine. That's on them. That's their property. But if something happens, it might not be your property much longer. The people that follow the rules get, just like you said, you know, people go out and get drunk, they wreck cars. Okay, well, what happens? Everybody else got to have car insurance now, not just them. So, I mean, there is repercussions to everything that's being done. So that just addressing some of the issues that were brought up, and that's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. A lot said from everybody. So I thank everybody for their comments. Let's address a few things. You know, to the comment of it's not saving money to have chickens in my backyard, I say you ain't doing it right. Okay, I had a flock of 30 in Los Alamos. It cost me $250 a year to feed that flock. It's called making friends with people. Dwayne, your building's right across the street from me. How much stuff do you get in? And maybe more when you were here that went to the pig farmers. We can share that with chicken owners. That cuts your feed bill way down. You make friends with the guy at the produce guy at the grocery store. He'll give you boxes of stuff that can't be sold to the citizens. That cuts your bill way down. You know, when you crack that egg in the morning, that beautiful golden yolk egg, that shell, right back to the chickens, all right? There's many, many ways I'll sit down with anybody to talk to you about how to make this dirt cheap. I literally spend a couple $100 a year feeding these chickens. Roosters. A lot of people say you don't need roosters to have eggs. You're right. But we're talking about self-sustainability. We're talking about creating a system of people who we've been called the poorest in the state. You have, I don't even know how many people over there with food insecurity. That's a big issue here. A rooster is gonna fertilize your eggs, and you're gonna get lucky, and you're gonna get a couple of chickens who go broody, hatch you some eggs, and you're gonna refresh your flock. Chickens 3 to 5 years, they're not laying properly anymore. You're gonna be rotating out. If you're breeding your own, you're always refreshing your flock. You always have a fresh, healthy, young, egg-producing flock, which is what we want. We want the people of Rocky Ford to be able to feed themselves, their children, their neighbors, donate to the food pantry. I believe that, like other citizens have said, registration is kind of anti-American in my opinion. I don't think we need to be. I think that if we need to contact people because there's an outbreak of something or there's something that we do rather well, mailing things up through our water bill. Word of mouth is amazing. These things that we have ways to do these things. You know, I appreciate council's comments and ideas. I'm not going to knock them, but I do have a question for all of you. I gave you this 2 weeks ago. You know, we talk about we got to tweak this and we got to get this. 2 weeks ago, I gave you this. I haven't heard word one from you guys. I talked to Dwayne just a couple days ago, and I made the changes that we talked about because they were valid changes. You know, we've talked about it before that our duty as elected officials is to those people sitting out there and those people watching, and that guy over there, even though he's wearing that Bronco D. Love you, Kuko. If we're given things, we sit here and we talk about how long it takes to get things done, and why aren't more things getting passed, and why aren't we doing these things for the citizens? And yet 2 weeks ago, you had this exact sheet in your hand minus 2 sentences. Yeah, 2 sentences is what I changed before I sent Rebecca the new version. Not a single person texted me, not a single person called me. My phone number is literally on the side of my pickup truck. I'm not hard to get a hold of. We as elected officials need to do our jobs and work for them. I believe what I've done here is my job. I've worked for the citizens. I've spoke with the citizens. I believe this is way more than I would like to put in here. Like I said before, I would have erased the word chicken and been okay with it. All the ordinances are there. I'm open to tweaking, but again, I understand we can't tonight because this is just open for discussion because it's an ordinance, but I would totally support just approving it the way it's written. I don't support any registration. I don't support any fees. I think that anybody who says I only need 2 chickens is delusional, and you're not. Chickens are social creatures. They like friends like we all do. You want to sit at home with the same person every day? And if my son's watching, I love you. I can sit at home with you all day. You know,
I don't think I saw his name on here.
No, I don't. He may have turned off, but you know, it's one of them things that we want to raise our kids to be self-sufficient. This is the start, I think, personally. I think I had a son who, I don't know if most of you probably know my son. My son was diagnosed autistic, and I was told that he wouldn't interact with society. And he spent the first few years of his life hiding under a table and not talking to people because they scared the crap out of him. And I bought him those birds. And I thought, you know, I was doing it because I wanted some eggs and give my son a little responsibility. And at first he was like, you know, I don't, whatever. And then he watched one lay an egg, and it changed him. I mean, this kid was getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was in the coop taking care of them. Those were his pets. Those were his babies. I taught him how to talk to people by selling his dozen eggs to the neighbor across the street. There's many, many benefits to this, whether it's, you know, meat, whether it's egg, whether it's whatever. But I think that the biggest thing, and I'll end, I'm sorry, I'm ranting, is the citizens I think have spoken. I think the ones that are here tonight, I think the ones we heard on Facebook, and I think that this, just like you said, we've been doing this back and forth for a while. I think overall the citizens are for this and the citizens want that freedom. And I think that we, the people, says we give them that. So if I could, I'd move to approve it.
All right, well, thank you, Nick. Just one comment I want to make on that is, although we did have it, and I reached out to you, not everyone may have had the opportunity to do that. And also, we don't know whether or not what we heard today is feedback that we don't know when that was received. So I would just, ask with this and others, that we're giving each other that grace, and, not kind of making those implications. I think everyone is doing their diligence in opening their ears to listen to the community around them. And, this, for one reason or another, this has always kind of been something that brings a lot of energy. And I think we do need to respect that there are a good number of people who don't want this in any sense. So, I think that's kind of what we're hearing, not so much as, people are not prepared or, whatever that is. But I think everyone is kind of doing their job of listening, gathering feedback, and then presenting that tonight. And this is our first time having this discussion. So I think we got a lot of really good feedback, and we'll be, I guess.
That was a long discussion
on
of some chickens,
if you have any
y'all.
changes. I would
Was that like
encourage
45
everyone
minutes of
to
just
reach out
chickens?
directly with any of your recommendations on what you need to see in this.
Let's do it through
And,
email so we have documentation to be able to refer back to.
So yeah, just provide your recommendation directly to him, and it can make those changes. But this was our first look at this. Sounds like we're at a place that this can come up for to be proposed for action. So good there.
If I may,
Yeah.
to Councilmember Martinez there, if I had drawn this up, I would have reached out to you. I would have said, hey, did you get this? What do you think? Should I add, or before I even do this, submit this, maybe?
I did reach out to you. I put one on each one of your desks 2 weeks ago.
But since then, have you done anything?
Well, I was waiting for you to read it and get back. It has to go both ways. It has to be that we're bringing these ordinance forward.
Okay, we've went through a lot of discussion over a lot of action items, a lot of things that have carried on, where there hasn't been the best flow of information or requests. So I think it sounds like we're hearing this again, and let's do better on that. Okay, everyone.
Do better.
So I think we're at a good place to move along on this, and we'll probably be seeing this for action. And I would like to ask Mr. Martin, do you have any additional information to share with us? I see that you went and walked through my alley with your flashlight. So is my chicken coop empty or not?
No, I was just curious. This November, the 3rd, you had a big old white goose in the backyard. Where'd it go?
November 3rd, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So you were in violation of the code at that time. Did you turn this off then?
No. I've been for chickens. I thought this was a bogus ordinance from the beginning. So, I did send those all to live with someone else because I wanted to have the integrity that when I made this vote, I wasn't putting myself in a conflict of interest and having to recuse myself. So I was thinking ahead to where we're going to be at with this. So my coop is empty, and I hope my coop will be full soon.
I'd just like to make an opinion of myself.
Got him.
You're good. You're good. Thank you.
You were in violation of the code before this, and now sound like you're kind of against Mr. Martinez.
You're good, Mr. Martin. Thank you for all you've done, and appreciate you being here tonight and all the information you've brought.
Thank you, though.
All right, we'll move on to the next thing. It's discussion, city manager annual performance evaluation. So we did send that to everyone. Thank you.
Are we missing something regarding the fire department?
Well,
Because they're all here. Did you come here for a specific reason or just want to visit?
Yeah, I just had something to bring up. I mean, but yeah, that's a lot of chicken talk.
Don't you have chickens? No, you've got
Yeah,
chickens.
that's just astonishing. I've my whole life, I've never said that word. So-
caught his ass, Bonnie. He had chickens. Caught
Yeah,
him.
we're gonna move on to the city manager annual performance evaluation.
I don't even really care to hear the rest of this meeting. If you guys want, head over to Facebook, Rocky Ford City Council.
Template we'll be using.
I don't even care to hear the rest of it. They wore me out on the chickens part. Shit. Caught him though. Caught him with the chickens. He had 4 chickens. He admitted to it. You guys heard him. He admitted to it. So that's funny. Mayor got caught. Now remember, you're not supposed to have chickens, guys. Tom Martin called him out. He didn't want to talk about it too much though. But it sounds like, you know, they're going to be able to have chickens. So, anyways, guys, we appreciate you being here. If you want to check out the rest of the meeting, head over to Facebook, Rocky Ford City Council. I'm not sure how much more excitement they'll have tonight, but good portion of the room cleared out with the chickens. So, yeah. Walking by his property with a flashlight. Got him. Looking for those chickens. The chickens are roosting at night, man. You ain't going to see those guys outside at night. Hey, guys. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for all those thumbs up. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll catch you on the next one.